Well, hello there and welcome to an Evening in 10 Forward installment number 79, the first installment of 2026. Welcome to the show, everybody, and I really genuinely hope you all had a fantastic winter break. And I think you're supposed to say that now, but I'm just going to say I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas and a cracking New Year celebration. And we are into the new year now. It is indeed 2026. 2025 we leave behind. We leave behind Strange New Worlds Season 3. Say adios, because there's going to be no more of that until Season 4. And, well, no one's looking forward to Season 4. I can especially attest to that with my co-host tonight. Watch Nerd has joined me for the first one of 2026. Watch Nerd, are you well?
I'm well, yes, thank you, on this somewhat cold evening.
Bitterly
yeah,
cold.
it's cold in the UK. I mean, I'm in the south, so I'm probably better off than you are, Dageman, because you're more northerly situated than I am. But yeah, it's cold. I mean, look, we know that 2026 is going to be a bit of a rough year, Star Trek wise. Obviously, we have the show that no one wants to talk about, Academy, obviously coming out this month. But yeah.
Oh dear.
Hey ho. I know. Hey
yes.
ho.
Yeah, it is very, very cold. It's not quite as cold as where Clayton is right now. I'm sure he's experiencing the day after tomorrow pretty much live and in person. But it is very cold over here in the United Kingdom. We're going to get snow, and we're going to apparently get quite a little bit of it. Which, will grind the country to a halt with one snowflake. So there you go. Yes, 2026 is going to be interesting, because in just a few short weeks here on this channel, I'm going to be suffering from some form of neurological torture as I sit through Starfleet Academy, the new show from Alex Kurtzman, who does not seem to be getting the message from Star Trek fans that we do not want any more of his tripe. But he keeps pumping these shows out. And I did a video. I've done a few videos while I've been sort of off over Christmas. I got myself a nice new editing laptop, discounted price, because YouTube's not paying the bills around here. And I put out a few sort of comical videos. One of them was a Starfleet Academy, I suppose a little bit of a parody. But as I was watching those intros, because you have to watch them to edit them, obviously, the more I watched them, the more the little respect that I have for them dwindled. And I can tell that this is just going to be an absolute S show.
Yeah. I mean, I've been very honest with you, and I'm going to be very honest with the channel. I don't want to watch Starfleet Academy at all if I can get away with it. I might watch the first episode out of morbid curiosity, but I don't think I could sit through 10 episodes of it. I just don't think I can do it.
Well, I mean, if you don't mind, we have made a private agreement between ourselves. I'm not going to have anyone suffer through this show in order to talk about it on this live stream. I am just going to be doing the videos. We'll probably do the first episode, sort of entry level, I suppose you could say. But beyond that, we're not going to be mainly focusing on that show on these live streams. We want to talk about something that's going to be a lot better for everybody and a lot more positive. That being said, I still have to put out my reviews. They will still be with you every Thursday evening throughout the course of January and most likely February as well. And I grew up with two sisters, and I had to endure a lot of television that they watched because, well, let's be frank, when we were growing up, Watch Nerd, multiple televisions in one house, well, they weren't a thing yet, and I had to sit through a lot of female-oriented shows, and one of them there was a lot of Dawson's Creek. So much so, I think my brain dribbled out. I had to put it back in, and now it's just a big mess. So if I had gone back in time and told myself at the ripe age of 13, 14 that Star Trek would be coming out with a Dawson's Creek-esque show, I probably would have punched myself, my future self. I'd be coming back with black eye, because I just wouldn't believe. I wouldn't believe that this was happening. I mean, you mentioned earlier that there was also a year one show coming. We've had a year one show proposed, and a Star Trek comedy. It's all of these shows are really antithetical to what Star Trek actually is, and the message that Star Trek has been putting out for the last now 60 years this year. And that's going to be another focus of what we're going to be talking about this evening, is 60 years of this franchise. Now, you could say we're going to discount the latest Treks, and to be fair, if we're going to do that, I don't have a problem with that at all. But 60 years of a franchise, whether it's been on television or through merchandising or through movies, it's a hell of an achievement. I think the only other one to get this far is Doctor Who, in terms of long-running sci-fi franchises. If you can name any more in the chat, then please do. So it's quite an achievement for Star Trek. And it would... I find myself thinking, well, if we had the classic era of Star Trek and those types of shows, even if they weren't quite as good as what came before, I think we'd have more cause to celebrate, because at least Star Trek wouldn't be this walking corpse that it is now. I just want to quickly break to say hello to everybody in the chat. Hello, Danger Wife. You are always loved on this channel, obviously, because I'm contractually obligated to show my love, and very happy to do so as well. I love you very much, Wifey. Wifey got me a runabout. I mean, all hail the Danger Wife. James Caserta, hello, Happy New Year. My friend, Good Place Guna is with us in the chat. Oh my God. J Wayne 7231. I wish that I could forget Academy exists. Stephen Bromby.
I think it's gonna be...
Sorry, Stephen Bromby, evening, Guna, and Happy New Year to all of you. So yeah, great to have you all here. Sorry, Watch Nerd.
Oh, I was just saying in regards to that comment about I wish I could forget Academy exists. I think after this season it will probably be memory hold. I'd be very surprised if we get season 2.
It'd be interesting to see if we do get a season 2, because I don't foresee this show being very popular. I mean, we've said it before, in regards to the show, comparing it to Section 31, that absolute bombastic success that it was back in this time last year. I gave Zell an aneurysm, and I gave myself one at the same time. It was a monumental failure. It was rejected by all fans of Star Trek pretty much, and the only people that tried to justify liking it were the last remnants, the last little fires of New Trek, which I think this is going to be like pouring gasoline on it. It's going to be this big explosion at first, and the New Trek fans are going to absolutely adore it for about an episode, and then it's going to crash and burn. And I think the only appeal to Star Trek OG fans will be Robert Picardo as the Doctor. I think that's the only reason that a lot of people are going to watch it. I can't fathom why you would want to watch it just for Robert Picardo, because although it's Robert Picardo and his characters are fantastic, to me it's still not the Doctor, because it's New Trek. Just as Old Man Picard was not Picard, and none of these new Trek characters are our characters. They just can't be. Even Picard season 3 with all the next gen cast, although it felt like they were, I still don't count them as Star Trek characters. I count them as this facsimile, this bad copy of Star Trek characters nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the thing. I mean, look, Robert Picardo as the Doctor in Voyager was great. I think he was one of the best things about Voyager, along with Seven of Nine, and also the relationship with kind of Janeway was good. Those kind of episodes were good. You know, Doctor, Janeway, Seven of Nine. But it's not going to be the Doctor that we know, which is why I'm just like, you know, it's just, yeah. And I saw in one of the previews that they had like a slide or some kind of like exhibition about Cisco, and that just like gave me a bit of a high blood pressure. I was like, no,
yes,
don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
I'm reminded of Pink Floyd at this point, you know. Hey, leave our Cisco alone.
Yeah.
Leave the Cisco be. Yeah, I'm not best impressed with, obviously, with what we've seen of Starfleet Academy. In that video, I started the video with the scene with Khan and Kirk, you know, where he says, you know, I just wanted you to know who beat you. You know, I plan to avenge myself upon you. You know, I've disabled your ship. I plan to kill. You know, and the dialogue was absolutely superb. And then you sort of cross that with Paul Giamatti's lines, and it's not against Paul Giamatti at all, because he only has one thing to go by, and that's the dialogue, where he goes, time in its infinite complexities folds in upon itself like an origami chicken, and this moment is that chicken. In other words, payback's a bitch. It's like, who feckin' wrote this? Seriously, who wrote this? They think that it's like they've picked out a thesaurus and gone, oh, I'm very, very intelligent, don't you know? I don't get it. I don't get how dialogue like that gets past any kind of proofing at all. How can it?
I don't think there is proofing. There can't be proofing, because some of the stuff that goes into production, I mean, we saw it in season 3 of Strange New Worlds. It just made no sense. I was just like, this doesn't make coherently any sense. Like the Space Butterfly episode, Nuclear Space Butterfly, that made no sense. That was like 2 different episodes put together, almost. Do you know what I mean? I was like, this hasn't. No one's watched this through and thought, oh, does this make sense? But not. The quality control just isn't there. They just don't care.
No.
It's just so obvious. Just lack of like due care and attention. And it's just like, why? That's why Skydance haven't authorized any more shows, because they're like, hey, this isn't doing well. We can see it's not doing well. Why would we endorse more shows?
I'd like to know the internals of what's going on at Skydance, but the fact of the matter is we don't know.
Yeah.
Even if you had sources within Skydance, you still don't know that that's the truth. And you know, fair dues to these YouTubers who come out and say, oh, I've got such and such information about such and such, but really there's no concrete proof. It's just rumor, speculation, and hearsay. So we're not going to know what's going on within Skydance. And to be frank, I don't trust any process, because as Star Trek fans, I feel that we have already been burned too badly by what's come before. And of course, you've always got the danger of it becoming a Kathleen Kennedy situation where it's, is she going to leave? I've heard rumours that she's been fired. I've heard rumours that she's out, and people get all excited, and then it turns out she's not out, and it's just a huge mess. Now, I think Hollywood is in a state of disrepair at the moment. It's in absolute chaos from what we have seen coming out of it. But and with the recent purchases, mergers, buyouts, you know, I think it was Warner Brothers recently. you look at what's happening there, those sort of situations are very messy, and you're not going to know anything until the dust settles. And I think that the dust is very much still up in the air. Guna, those videos were great, DM. Well done. And thank you very much, mate, my friend. It's a shame they're not quite... the algorithm's not letting them take off, because I did put a lot of work into those, a lot of effort. But hey-ho, that's just the way it goes. That's the way the algorithm crumbles sometimes. They will desecrate Cisco, count on it. I'm fairly certain they will. I don't trust these people with an epilogue of characters that I love, because they've desecrated characters that we all love. Chekhov, and Scotty, and Spock, and pretty much everybody else. So no, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Not for a split second. Another bribe show like the Accomplice or Acolyte. Oh my god, yeah, the Acolyte was something else. So yeah, 2025 was a pretty Star Trek light year, really. I would say you had Section 31 in Strange New Worlds season 3. There wasn't really an awful lot going on beyond that in terms of official stuff. So very, very, very light year. However, 2026 looks to be very, very promising. It looks to be off to a great start with Academy, and it looks to be off with an even better start with potentially Strange New Worlds season 4 at some time, which is I can't even say that with a straight face, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
2026, the year of Trek. On its here's the thing that really bugs me, and I know I'm prattling on not watching that, so if I do keep going on too much, tell me to stop. You've got anniversaries this year. This year's Star Trek 60th. Now it's also Resident Evil's, is it 30th? I think it's Resident Evil's 30th. Now, Resident Evil's doing a video game. I assume they're going to do it's going to be a game, but it's also going to be a tribute. It's going to be a tribute to what came before. Star Trek is turning 60 this year, and there's a crappy show at the beginning of the year, and potentially a 4th season of a dwindling show, a failure of a show. There's nothing OG. I don't see anything being celebrated OG-wise with Star Trek, and I know why, but I don't see it happening regardless, because they're not going to want to celebrate what came before. They're going to want to try and push what is now. And I know that they had a float. Don't ask me where this float was. I've seen it floating around the internet. I didn't really do an awful lot of research, but it is a Star Trek float and some of the actors were on there. Tig Notaro was on there. George Takei was on it as well.
Oh, yeah.
And Rebecca Romaine, I believe, in a suit that just defies existence. I can't actually. It gave me a headache looking at it. And most of that was just all new Trek, with the exception of George Takei. And I think they had a model of the original Enterprise, and then they had a model of Starfleet Academy's Athena toilet seat, which was just horrendous to look at. I mean, it was really cheaply built as well. There was no effort put into it whatsoever. They're celebrating in private, says James Caserta. I think we're gonna have to hold up the ceiling on this one, and celebrate celebrate all of the Star Trek that we love throughout the year. But yeah, my point is this is a year of celebrating a franchise. So why wouldn't you have something really special lined up for the entire? Why would you just treat it like another year where it's Oh, we got Starfleet Academy, and later on we've got Strange New Worlds. You know, those shows that have got absolutely no popularity. Why wouldn't you say, okay, look, here's the deal. We're going to re-release Star Trek Deep Space Nine in 4K. Right, we're going to do 4K releases of Star Trek Deep Space Nine and Star Trek Voyager and Enterprise. We're going to 4K the lot for you and re-release it for Star Trek's 60th anniversary. That would be a fantastic start. Instead, this new year, we're treated to, in the UK, losing Star Trek off of Netflix and it going exclusively to Paramount Plus, where we have to rely on physical media, which I'm so happy about. And I love the fact that you've got the DS9 box set. And I'm kind of jealous. I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah. No, I think like it's good to have physical media, as you know, because obviously now it's not on Netflix anymore. Deep Space Nine in the UK anyway, and it's nice, like, because then you get all the behind the scenes kind of interviews and stuff. Because obviously, I think Deep Space Nine, the full journey, has all of that, all the 7 seasons, all the behind the scenes stuff. So for a fan, it's great to have anyway. You know, and I'd rather rewatch episodes of Deep Space Nine than watch any of the new stuff, really, apart from obviously Prodigy. That's pretty much my only exception. Yeah, so hey ho, they can do whatever they want with like the Star Trek name. I'm kind of not bothered anymore. I think I've just kind of got to the stage where I just don't view any of it as being Star Trek, and they can just say what they want, and that's fine. But I don't want to engage with it because I just think it gives some views. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, no.
Yeah, and in some ways, if you're talking, you know, they say even bad press is still press. You know what I mean? Anti-Derivative Jill and her viewers just joined. Say hello. Hello, guys. Hello and welcome to the show, the first one of 2026. Thank you so much, Jill, for sending your audience over to my quaint little corner of YouTube. It's always much appreciated, and I hope that you are well and that you have had a fantastic New Year celebration. I would say I would still like to see something celebrated in terms of Star Trek, and you know, and I think obviously re-releasing all the series in 4K isn't viable, because not only because they're not willing to spend the money, I would assume, but also because it's very much a Last of Us 2 kind of situation, where if they do re-release them, they become so popular. Obviously, a lot of the original Trek stuff is already so popular, and it's still popular to this day. It would it'd be like egg on the face for them.
Yeah, exactly.
And it would prove that the original Star Trek is more popular than the new Trek. And anyone who has spent any amount of time, you know, looking at the figures and, you know, being on the internet and actually not living under a rock would be able to tell you that New Trek is a monumental failure in terms of Star Trek. It has been, and it continues to be a monumental failure, and that's because of ego and because of hubris, or should I say sheer effing hubris.
Oh, yes. Well, speaking of Picard, actually, so speaking of the individual Picard, so fun fact for people, I went into my local mall, kind of at the weekend, I think. Yes, it was at the weekend. And I went into the Lego store, just because I was interested, because I'd seen that big Enterprise D Lego set before Christmas.
Oh.
And I hadn't been in, obviously, because I was just like, I don't want to deal with it, you know, around Christmas. I'm not going to do that. So I went into Lego store, spoke to one of the employees there, and I was like, oh, can I ask, you know, about, are there any Enterprise D sets available with the shuttle? And she said, no, they are all sold out and on back order until February.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, Lego sets do sell. They do sell out a lot, but it's mainly, if Lego, I think it's safe to say that Lego on its own can sustain itself. When they do Lego sets of generic stuff, people buy them because it's Lego. But when you tie Lego, the brand Lego, to Star Trek, to Star Wars, and all of this, all of these different IPs, there's a sell factor there because you're appealing to a certain audience. And I can guarantee you, if they had said, oh, we'll release the Enterprise D set and then we'll release the Discovery set side by side, I can tell you now, people will be buying those Discovery kits and turning them into the Enterprise D.
Yeah,
It's that simple. They wouldn't be buying Discovery sets. Come on.
Well, have they ever? I don't think they've made. I mean, obviously, chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they made any kind of Lego sets of any new Trek stuff.
No,
as far as I know.
No, the Enterprise D, I believe, is the first collaboration between Lego and Star Trek, and I don't think they're going to go that way, because they know that the original stuff sells.
Yeah.
The OG Star Trek merchandise sells. I mean, you know, I got the runabout. That was the Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It's a 30-year-old model kit, and people still want it. I still wanted it, and I've been saying all year to the missus, I want that kit. You know, I got the fiber optic Deep Space Nine from 30 years ago, unopened, still in its wrapper. Not anymore, but my point is, the merchandise, people still want it.
Yeah.
People still want it. And the new Trek stuff, people just aren't interested in it. It's just not doing as well. And that's, again, this isn't the fault of the set designers. This isn't the fault of the crew, not even the cast, I don't think, to a fairly large degree. This rests on the creative team. This rests on the people who are writing this drivel. And it goes to show, if you cannot write decent television, you're not going to get people watching, because they're just going to tune out. That's why so many shows have failed. That's why so many shows continue to fail, because there's just a creative vacuum out there right now where people just cannot generate good stuff. I don't see much Star Trek merchandise in retail stores anymore. No, because it's just not selling. They tried to do the new Trek stuff. And I can guarantee you, I mean, we've said this before, haven't we, Watch Nerd? I can guarantee you that if they did the AMT kits again of all the OG Star Trek stuff, if they did the Corgi micro machines of all the Star Trek stuff again, if they did the phasers, the tricorders, the electronic Enterprise and all of that, if they re-released all of that stuff, people would lap it up, because that's what we want.
Yeah, you can see it from the Lego kit. Like, that's the Enterprise D. There's some, 30 odd years ago, something like that. Crazy. But people are buying it, and they're buying a full set. And that's, I believe, the Enterprise D with the shuttle, I believe, someone correct me if I'm wrong, is about £500 roughly. It's not cheap. It's not cheap.
No.
The big bloody model, the Enterprise D, and obviously the shuttle's obviously a bit smaller, but it's not small either.
No.
People want it, though,
Micro machines were great. Yeah, they were. I've still got some. I've got some on my video display upstairs. Absolutely love them. They were fantastic. I didn't get them all, obviously, because we weren't made of money. But at the same time, I just think, well, if I want something like that, and I'm scouring eBay all the time just to have a look, see what prices are doing, I'll get it. And if I really want something, I'll get it. Now, do I want the Enterprise D? Want to cost ratio? Probably not, because I've got other things I need to get. But if it was, if someone had said, "Here's a gift voucher for a Lego set," I'd go and get it, because I want it, but I don't want it enough at the minute.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's just far too expensive. But there are people who do want it. They want to buy this. They want to get, it's so popular. And I don't see any of that for new Trek stuff at all.
No. I mean, Lego, I think, do their market research well. I'm sure they've got a good data analytics team. There's no way that they'd commission a new Trek ship, because they wouldn't sell. They'd spend all the money on it, and then they'd just sit there.
Yeah.
And they'd have to discount it to sell it.
Yeah.
Like,
you can imagine Kurtzman on his knees. Please, just the Discovery, please. So I know, sorry. How about the Enterprise F from Star Trek Picard? We'll do that. Well, no. I don't know why Kurtzman suddenly goes into Picard. No, I won't have it. No. I got DS9 Defiant model kit from Walmart a month ago. Surprised me that it was there. Yeah, to be fair, you know, they are still out there. They're just very limited because they're not piling enough money into it. And
you can get really.
Sorry.
No, sorry, I think I interrupted you. I was going to say you can get really good stuff off eBay, as you said. I think that's Rad Puppy that said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good finds. You just have to kind of like keep searching. You know.
I only want the minifigures and shuttlecraft, says Jill. Hello, Jill, my darling. How are you? It's great to have you here, of course. Jill's channel. If you haven't checked it out already, please subscribe to Jill. She's an absolute angel. And I love her channel to bits, so thank you very much. Matt Stuttgart, Happy New Year, greetings from Germany. Hello, my friend. I hope you're doing well. I'm still learning German, so don't expect me to speak it just yet. And Duolingo in German at the minute, but I'll get there eventually. But yes, Jill, no problem, Jill, no problem. It's always a pleasure to have you on board. Pleasure to have you here. Yes, the minifigures and the shuttlecraft, just those alone. If you can't afford to buy the big Enterprise D, I mean, we're not talking a Death Star here, but it's chunky monkey. But people have done all sorts with it, haven't they? They've put lighting kits in it and everything. Lighting kits in a Lego set. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. Do they do Orville Lego sets? Probably not at this point. I think they probably need a bit longer on that one. There needs to be a demand for it. And the Orville, I think the reason why Star Trek's taken so long to get to Lego is because it's always been niche. And again, you say Lego has done their market research, and I agree, they have done their market research. Because they've capitalized on something that the New Trek propagators, the creators of New Trek have created this issue where people are looking for all of this older stuff. Lego have seen a gap in the market and gone, hey, that's demand right there. Let's do this. I mean, I'm not speaking for them. I don't know actually what happened, but I can imagine that's how it went down.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's exactly what's happened. Yeah. They, as I say, they do that for a reason. They've done their research. They're not just going to input millions and millions of pounds, dollars, euros, whatever into producing these kits if people aren't going to buy them. That just doesn't make any economic sense for them as a company.
No.
And they're very successful. They're successful for a reason. In regards to Guna's question about Orville Lego, no, but there are some models from time to time. If you look on eBay, there are some ship models you can get of the Orville. They're a bit kind of difficult to find, but they do exist.
They're a bit pricey as well, aren't they?
Yeah, because there's not very many of them.
I've got the Orville shuttle, the Orville shuttle.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're worth getting. I mean, it's a great show. So, yeah.
It's a great show.
Hopefully we get a season 4.
I'm hoping to hear some news in 2026 about the Orville. Again, we can't really operate on anything other than what we already know. I would love to see the Orville back. I'm beginning to feel a little bit Firefly-ish about it now. It's beginning to creep in. That little thought in the back of my mind is, should they just leave it? Because that's 3 pretty solid seasons of television. And if they bring it back, if they try to bring it back and say, Adrian Pilecki, she's rumoured to not be coming back, and if they do bring it back, would it be as good? Would it sour what we already have? I'm pretty on the fence about it. I'd like to see them go for a 4th season because I want to see that show succeed. But, and it's a big but, I had the same thing with Stranger Things as well. I was talking to Danger Wife earlier, saying that I've not seen season 5 yet, and I've been with Stranger Things since the beginning. So I've loved Stranger Things since the beginning. Season 3 was a bit shite. Season 2 I wasn't too impressed with, but season 4 I thought was brilliant. Now, season 4 actually was nearly 3.5 years ago. That's when it ended. And season 5 has just come out in November, and now the finale's come out. And I have to say, I'm not that bothered. I'm not, because too much time has passed now. And obviously there's more problems there. But if you leave a show too long, the hype dies down. People aren't, all the hope sort of goes away. Didn't with Star Trek. People in fact campaigned to get it back, and which was great to see. But what we have had with the Orville, I think, has been so solid that it would be quite nice. I'd want a season 4 just to say that, but I would be willing to settle for the consolation prize of having a nice bookended season 1 to 3.
Yeah,
because it ended on a pretty decent note.
I agree. Yeah, I think they thought it might be the end of things. It kind of looked to me like they were like, because Seth MacFarlane's a very busy guy. He had other, I know, kind of projects in the offing. And the thing is, to get the other seat, to get the 4th season going, you'll need all the actors available. Obviously, Adrian Pilecki isn't available. I'm not sure about the other folks, but do you know what I mean? It becomes more and more difficult because it's just like anything else. Any other job, people move on.
Well, absolutely. Old jobs ring me up to say, "Oh, could you come back for this?" I'll say, "No, actually, I'm contractually obligated in the job that I'm doing. I don't have that kind of availability." And this is why when a show's cancelled, it's really difficult to get it back. And it's why when Enterprise was cancelled and it was final, it was very much a case of, damn, I don't think that can come back now. I suppose it was some miracle that Terry Matalas managed to get the Next Gen cast back the way he did.
Yeah.
So The Expanse suffered from that too. It really fizzled out towards the end, I think. Yeah, I mean, it can stick around. A show can stick around too long, or it can just have way too much of a hiatus. And we were saying this in previous streams, that the budget and for these shows is so vast, and the amount of CG work that goes into it. Look at House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Season 2 was last year. I think it was at the beginning of the year. Was it?
I don't know. I don't watch it. I've not seen it. It's one of the things I've not seen. Just not had time,
I'm trying not to knock my mouse here and kill the stream. I just want to look at this season 2 of, because I mean, the wife and I did Game of Thrones, and well, by the end we wish we hadn't. But House of the Dragon season 2 release date. Jesus Christ! It was 2024, and we still and let's just put season 3 release date. It's coming sometime in 2026. There you go. 2 years. 2 years between seasons. People lose interest. It just dies out.
Yeah, I agree. I think you need that momentum, because modern life, everyone's busy, everyone just gets distracted. There's so many things you can watch or get involved with gaming, whatever it is, hobbies. But it just means that you need that. If you don't have it, then, as you say, momentum dies out, and that's how shows die. In regards to The Expanse, I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, I've seen all of The Expanse. I thought in the last season it wasn't as good as the previous seasons, yes. But I think a lot of that was to do with the fact they were about to do the time jump. Does that make sense? So obviously they knew they weren't going to continue with the show after that, because they're not going to go 20 years into the future. Do you know what I mean? And I think they had a lot of things to kind of ends to tie up. Yeah, but I think all in all it's a very good show, The Expanse. So it's just
I've got to finish it. I've still got to finish it. I can't believe I haven't finished it yet.
It's a great show. I mean, it's obviously not the most positive of shows, but as we said before, I think we've said this before, in my personal opinion, when I'm long gone in 200 to 300 years' time in this solar system, I would think the Expanse is the most likely course of events or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I think the solar system will be a bit more like that than any other sci-fi show that I've seen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because, yeah, that's just the way of things, and I do think we will colonize Mars at some point.
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah, the gap kills the shows, especially with layered stories that you can't recall what happened. Exactly, you just lose interest. You lose interest, you stop caring, and it also kills the anticipation as well because you look at each season of a show like Star Trek. When you finish the season, Best of Both Worlds, Part 1, you were like, I gotta wait 6 months. I gotta wait 6 months until I see the next season, or however long it was. For us in the UK, it was roughly about 6 months. The anticipation would build and build and build. You say, I'm excited. I can't wait to see that. I'm excited. Come on. 30 days to go, 20 days to go, 10 days to go. It's gotten to the point now where you just forget the show exists at all. You go, oh yeah, I was watching that, wasn't I? Damn, I can't remember what happened. Anyway, I'll just get on with life. And that's pretty much the way it goes. I hope For All Mankind doesn't suffer from the same fate, to be honest. Yeah, there is that. I think we're getting For All Mankind Season 5 this year. It is slated for release this year. I just don't know when. It's not been officially announced yet, but I know that there's a spin-off show, Star City. That's going to be coming out, I believe, this year as well. So we're going to be getting into what's coming out in 2026 and what we can look forward to and potentially talk about over the coming year. I hope, yeah. If Kelly isn't going to be in it, there's no point. It's all the main characters that made the show, along with the writing. This talking about the Orville, of course. If people are going to be missing, it will not be the same. No, yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. 100%. A show isn't the same when you start to lose characters. When characters are written off and want to go on to other projects, you know you're onto a losing streak there. So the Orville, I want it to come back. I do. I'm still pining for the show. I want more, but as time goes on, I'm beginning to think that maybe it's a good idea for it to now rest.
Yeah.
Because we've seen what has happened to Star Trek. It had a hiatus. They brought it back, and it didn't work out so well. I know that we're getting a Buffy sequel, which isn't. This is a big problem. Now, say what you want about Joss Whedon. Buffy's coming back as a sequel show. Sarah Michelle Gellar's on board. I think most of the original cast are on board. They've just finished filming the pilot, and it's not been written by Joss Whedon. As far as I know, none of the creative team behind Buffy is involved in this, and I just don't see it happening. I don't see it being any good because it's not the same people.
That's the thing. It would be like, having For All Mankind without, I don't know, Ronald D. Moore behind it. Do you know what I mean? It's just not going to be. It's not the same people. It's not the same brains. It's not going to be the same quality. Like whether you like Joss Whedon or not. I know he's a very controversial individual.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. It all seems a bit hearsay-ish to me.
Yeah.
I've not seen any. Do you know what I mean? But I don't have the interest to look at any court documents or anything. But it seems like hearsay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever. It is what it is. But it's, if you have people from, I don't know, a different kind of franchise or IP writing for this show, then obviously it's not going to be anything like it was. I mean, that's fairly obvious. Do you know what I mean? That's exactly what's happened with Star Trek. You have people who don't understand sci-fi or Star Trek writing for the show, and that's why it's so freaking awful, is because you have people trying to insert different IPs, different franchises into Star Trek, and it just doesn't work. It's just not, Star Trek isn't Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's not Dawson's Creek. It is what it is, So I think also this Buffy remake. Not that I'm the biggest fan. I did watch it a bit in the 90s, but it's going to be rubbish. It's just going to be more of the same, reviving old IPs and just making them, bad. Do you know what I mean? And making fans angry, I guess. So.
Yeah, and it goes to something the Drinker was talking about several points last year, is that this generation kind of feel bad for them because they don't have any staples. They don't have any core franchises. They don't have a pop culture of which to identify with. And I don't mean, I identify with that. I mean, if you would ask me about pop culture when I was a young'un, from the age of 5 to the age of 20, the things that defined that generation, the movies that defined that generation, the music, the computer games, the franchises, it would have, I'm a child of the 80s, it was Arnold action films, Die Hard, it was Home Alone, it was Star Wars, it was Star Trek, it was Batman, it was all of these defining intellectual properties, these defining franchises. And this generation doesn't really have anything like that. What it has is reboots and spin-offs and, sequels, which is it's just tragic to me.
Yeah. It's not good, is it? It's just...
No.
Yeah, and I think it plays into the whole kind of, I guess, cultural kind of zeitgeist at the moment of people just being so depressive, because there is nothing really that's... there is nihilism at the moment. There's a lot of nihilism because, you have like the prospect of AI perhaps being a bit out of control. People not like young people feeling that they don't have a future in many developed countries, inflation, etc., etc., and it's all kind of compounding in, I guess, modern society, and it's kind of driven a lot by people doom scrolling on their phones.
Oh yeah, it's a pandemic, that is.
Yeah, so it just kind of compounds. I think a lot of the malaise that a lot of particularly young people I feel, about the state of things in most of the developed world. And it's sad. Yeah, it's sad, as I say. It's a bit depressing, I guess, but what can you do?
Yeah, well, I'll say a creative void at the moment with regards to originality. There's been a few highlights of 2025, but we've got 2026 to look forward to. There's something interesting that I was noting earlier. 2025 was quite dull in terms of movies. Really, there was all sequels and stuff, and stuff that just compounds the original problem. Anyway, I just want to take you through. I've snapshotted some films that are going to be coming out in 2026. Big summer blockbusters and all the movie releases. Are you ready for this?
Go on, let's go for it.
Let's do it. 28 years later, The Bone Temple. It's a sequel. Scream 7. It's the sequel. Super Mario Galaxy, the movie. That's a sequel. The Devil Wears Prada 2. Sequel. Quite interesting. This one's not a sequel, and I think it's just going to be like Babe Pig in the City or something like that. The Sheep Detectives with Hugh Jackman. It just seems very babish to me. Mortal Kombat 2. It's a sequel. Star Wars: The Mandalorian and Grogu. Not a sequel, but not an original film at all. Masters of the Universe. Remake, maybe. Got Jared Leto in it. Lovely. Scary Movie 6. Toy Story 5. Supergirl. which is just going to be, I think it's tied to the James Gunn one, isn't it? Minions 3.
Oh, wow.
Moana, the live-action Moana. Reimagining, remake. Spider-Man, Brand New Day. Sequel. Practical Magic 2. Sequel. Street Fighter. Remake. Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping. Prequel. Avengers Doomsday. I don't even know what to call that. A sequel. And Dune Part 3. That's a sequel. That's what we've got coming in 2026. Now, there's a couple of interesting ones. There's also I screenshotted a film called Shelter, which just because it was another Jason Statham film, because Jason Statham just releases a movie every year. But I didn't pick out specific films just for sequels. I picked out stuff that I thought might be interesting to talk about, but they were all sequels. Now, there's some original films coming out, but they're all sequels. And I mean, The Devil Wears Prada, the original one, what, 90s, late 90s, early 2000s? I wasn't very interested in it back then anyway. Mortal Kombat, I believe this is a sequel, not to the... Is Paul W. Sanderson did the first one, but I think it was the one that was released a few years back. It's like remake Scary Movie 6. Now, don't get me wrong, Scary Movie 6 sort of, they said they don't care. They're just gonna do funny. They don't care who they, offend or anything. It's fair enough. But Toy Story 5, I haven't even seen Toy Story 4 because I don't see the point. I'm a big sort of I like the Pixar movies. Okay, I do. I really like the Pixar movies. I think my favourite one is WALL-E because I absolutely love WALL-E.
Yeah.
I got it. It's my only Disney film that I bought on Blu-ray because I absolutely love that. I think the animation is beautiful, and WALL-E is one of my favourite robots. He's just brilliant. But it's Toy Story 5. I don't understand. There's Toy Story 3. I mean, Toy Story when it came out when I was in freaking high school.
Crazy.
It's just bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. And Snow White was putting on Snow White put on hold all Disney live action remakes. And I think Moana was already being made at the time. So that's just going to be Moana live action, which the live action films are screwed either way you look at it, because if you change anything you criticised, if you change anything from the animated you criticised, which The Little Mermaid was, because apparently it was so different I didn't watch it anyway, or you can follow it beat for beat like The Lion King did and just be called generic live action version of the same film. You can't win. It's a no-win situation. This is just a quick buck. But I just know. Unbelievable. I'm just... There's a lot of chats that came in, so bear with me. I'm just working my way back. My friend and I still play StarCraft 1 and Halo 1. Halo 1! Halo is coming to PS5!
Oh.
Tell 2001 Danger Man that, and he won't believe you. Halo Combat Evolved is coming to the PlayStation 5.
Wow.
It's bonkers time, bonkers reality. I swear we crossed into another world. I think when they turned the LHC on, that's when we started universe hopping, I think. And that's where all these Mandela effects are coming from. We just entered the world of the bizarre. That's fucking Halo 1 on the PlayStation. Halo 1 is great, yeah. That's an automatic no from me. Ari. Masters of the Universe. If it's got Leto in it, yeah, it does have Leto in it. It also has. Oh, where Masters of the Universe? Where was it? Masters of the Universe. It also has Marina Baccarin in it, from Firefly and Deadpool and whatnot, and Idris Elba. So I don't know whether it's going to be an animated one or a live action one. I've not done my research. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lead you down the garden path on that one. It's crazy. Project Hail Mary is the only summer movie I'm looking forward to. It's coming out this year, though. I'm not sure. I have to look into that one. Wall-E was so good, and actually the Wild Robot wasn't bad. Yeah, Pixar films have a very special place in my heart for Pixar films, because they're so clever, because they you can aim them at any age group, and people will enjoy them. They're very wide-reaching, and like I say, just animation on them is phenomenal, and they're always made with thought. Not quite so much anymore. I feel that they've become a little bit too generic, but like I said, Wall-E is one of my favourites, definitely. I remember going to see the original TS. Oh, come on, help me out. TS? Is that regarding no, Toy Story. Sorry, yes, the original Toy Story back in '93. Good grief, I feel old. Yeah. I mean, it came out. That was. That would have been sort of mid to late '90s. Absolutely crazy. Sequels, remakes, prequels, because writers either lack creativity, talent, or simply can't be bothered to come up with any new IP. It's also the studios. They won't take risks. They want easy money. They won't take chances anymore. They don't want to.
Exactly.
They don't want to invest in anything that could fail. But what they're doing is milking IPs dry to the point where they fail, and well, we get left with vacuous, substanceless tripe, which is what we have now. And nobody cares about Supergirl. Seriously, nobody really cared about Zack Snyder's Superman. As soon as it came out, it kind of just fizzled out. So nobody's going to care about Superman. Minions 3, I mean, sure, kids will enjoy it, maybe. But, I don't think it's going to beat any Pixar records. It's almost as if the studio exits a form of business, former insurance people. Yeah, definitely. New Spider-Man. Who cares about the MCU? Genuinely, they're having to bring back all the MCU characters just to make people give a shit again, because they can't sustain them on these new characters. They brought in writers who have never freaking written for anything before, and directors who have like one credit on IMDb. There's just nothing for them. They're not generating anything. They're just no good. Freaking unbelievable. So they have to bring back everyone for Avengers Doomsday. Well, big bloody whoop. Captain America shall return and Thor shall return in Avengers Doomsday. It's like, but why? It's because you tried to make it without these characters that were written by decent writers, and now you're bringing them back. And who are the writers? I want to know who the creative team is. Is it the creative team behind the original Marvel MCU? Because if it isn't, I'm not interested. You're just gonna bring these actors on and have them prance about in a really bloated movie with a bloated cast and expect me to give a damn? I'm sorry, but I'm not sold. You cannot flash Captain America, and Thor and Robert Downey Jr. and expect me to go and give up hard-earned money to sit there with a bunch of people I don't know and probably wouldn't like because of their eating habits and the being loud and getting up and going off to the toilet and blocking my view of the screen and not being able to pause. It just doesn't. I'm just not going to spend my money. Sorry, but it's just not the way it's going to be. Fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, I've kind of gone off the
Sorry.
cinema as well.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. I've gone off the cinema as well. I think for the reasons you stated, really, like they're not. Most of the films aren't that good, and then obviously you have the, it's not the cheapest once you kind of factored in popcorn, etc. And then you
Pick
can't
and mix.
pause it, Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and people make noises. Yeah, it's just not for me.
Well, it used to be a case. It used to be a case of you couldn't get that movie experience without going to the movies, right? You went out to the movies, you bought pick and mix, you bought your popcorn, you sat there with your popcorn bucket, and you're sitting there in a room with a, I don't know, a 5, 6, 700 inch screen, however big they are, and you're watching this big movie with this massive sound system, when actually what you can do now is go on Amazon and for about £150 buy yourself a screen and a decent projector and just have the movie experience at home, where you can pause it and go, I just need to go to the toilet, or
Yeah.
do you want a cup of tea, or do you want a cigarette, or something like that, where you can sit there and you don't have strangers in your living room. You don't have people. I love the theatre experience, but I like it a lot less nowadays because you have to sit through 30 minutes, half an hour of fucking adverts selling you Jaguars and Porsches and stuff that you're never going to be able to afford, or or selling you freaking Nikes or cameras, and it's just. It's entirely pointless. You don't even get there on time for a film anymore because there's no point, because the film doesn't start for another half hour. So you're sitting there, say your showing's at 10 o'clock, you're sitting there at 10 o'clock expecting your movie to start. They don't even start the bloody trailers until 20 past.
Yeah.
So you sat there in an overly air conditioned, I might say, theatre, freezing your knackers off, sitting there waiting for a movie that's not even going to start when it says it's going to start. And it's not the cinema's fault. It's not the theatre's fault. These are the conditions that they've had to adapt to because people aren't going to the cinema anymore, because the cost of getting your own equipment and setting your own living room and turning it into a theatre has gone so far down. You can just wait for it on streaming, or you can go and buy it on Blu-ray. That's not going to be an option for too much longer, I would say, because physical media itself is dying out, which I think is a huge problem, because they can't change physical media. They can change anything. They can take your Startrek away if they lose the license for it.
Exactly. Yeah. I couldn't believe they did that with Old Trek. I mean, it must just be that Netflix don't want to pay the money.
Yeah,
but,
it's a licensing thing, and to be fair, I personally think they just want to bring it home. They want to bring it back to Paramount because they want to get their. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Paramount Plus they still had it, but why would you pay 2 premiums? Why would you pay for Netflix and for Paramount Plus? They want exclusivity. They want to bring it back. Netflix probably just said, "Yeah, fine, have it." And
yeah,
and they don't. And it all goes Paramount Plus now. So they have to get their viewing figures up for the streaming, and they know that people were watching it in the UK on Netflix, so it was getting that attention. So they say, "Oh, we'll pull it back because we want some of that." So they're willing to reap the rewards without actually admitting, "Yeah, the old stuff's more popular."
Well, exactly. Of course it is. Like, it's but I mean, hopefully, that will kind of tip Skydance in, towards the hey, this new Trek stuff isn't working. Maybe let's, I don't know, give it some breathing room for a few years. Yeah.
Well, as I say, they could survive just off the merchandise alone.
Yeah.
And they could release. You've got any number of social media fan groups and everything that you could drop this stuff into. And Guna has had to drop off, but he'll be back later. So thank you, Guna. Thank you for joining. Yeah, it's you can survive on the merchandise for quite some time. Let it just rest for a bit. Let it go, and then bring in Star Trek alum. If you don't do that, you're bringing bringing in writers from different franchises that are trying to turn it and make it something it's not. Starfleet Academy is always going to be a prime example of this. Because you're writing a show that's not Star Trek. You're writing a show that's set in a Star Trek universe that's not Star Trek. The differences between New Trek, and this is why Major Grin is I could never compare myself to Major Grin. I could never compete with Major Grin because his videos are absolutely fantastic. Where he draws direct parallels by showing you the differences between New Trek and Old Trek, and it's just not the same thing. It's again with James Cameron saying, "Oh, I want to do another Terminator film." Dude, it's a limited series. It's a limited franchise. You can only do so much with it because beyond John and Sarah Connor, people don't care.
Yeah. Flogging a dead horse is not a good thing with franchises, No.
Look at Predator.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, I just think, every franchise needs to rest. Some franchises only have so much kind of run in them because they are a limited franchise, You've got to accept that. You can't just keep making sequels that do worse and worse as time goes on.
No.
You need to kind of come up with some new ideas and maybe take a risk, maybe be a studio and say, hey, this is a new idea, this is new IP. Let's go with it. Let's see what happens, Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Because Predator Badlands. Why? Just why? I mean, Predator... Terminator, you've got a machine that's sent back in time by Skynet to eliminate the leader of a resistance before he was born, and then the sequel was after he was born, they tried again. That's pretty much all it can do. Predators pretty much... The predator species hunt. That's it. You can do films where they go to different planets, meet different species, and hunt them. But beyond that, you can't have a situational comedy set in the world of Predator. It just doesn't make sense, and people aren't gonna come there for that. Law Reloaded just came in, so I may have missed it. The comparison of it's not the same thing falls flat because these arguments could be made from TOS series to TOS movies and from TOS to TNG. I'm not a huge fan of the newer stuff. I think that it's lost the, shall we say, spirit of Legacy Trek, but different is always Star Trek. I want to try and be clear on this. When we say different when it comes to Star Trek, TOS and TNG they're different shows and they're made differently because obviously they're set. They're made in different eras and they're set in different eras. Deep Space Nine was a tonally different show to The Next Generation, and Voyager was a tonally different show to Deep Space Nine, and Enterprise was a tonally different show to Voyager. They are differences, and they all took different directions. They all had different premises, but they fundamentally remained in spirit, as you say. Law Reloaded. They fundamentally kept the Star Trek formula. They kept the characters and the organizations within the show were fundamentally the same. The Federation was still the Federation. Starfleet was still Starfleet. Human beings had still evolved. There were still evolved human beings. They weren't all perfect, and it gave some opportunities for some fantastic storytelling, but the core fundamentals remained throughout original Trek. The difference that we see now in New Trek is that they have changed the fundamentals of what made the Federation what it was, of Starfleet. They try to recontextualize what Starfleet is. They destroy legacy characters. They undermine legacy characters. They rewrite legacy characters to be completely antithetical to what they were previously. That's what New Trek does, and that's the difference with New Trek. I completely agree that, like I said, TOS was totally different to Next Generation. Next Generation was exactly what it was, the Next Generation, but the fundamental tenets of what made the Star Trek universe so great to watch and experience were still there, and remained there throughout DS9. DS9 was darker. It dealt with the more the darker side, the more remote side of the Federation, but it was still nowhere near as dark as what we have now. Star Trek is unrecognizable as a franchise. It doesn't deal with the same with the same level of intelligence in the writing, but you don't have the same level of intelligence. It doesn't deal with these issues. It at best mentions that there could potentially be issues within the episode in terms of moral dilemmas, but it doesn't deal with them, and it always tells you what to think. It doesn't tell you to think. And this is the point I've made on my channel time and time again. The new stuff is not in the spirit of Star Trek. It's not Star Trek because everything's so unrecognizable. I mean, watch now. I don't know whether you want to interject with anything on that.
Yeah.
I did rant off a little bit there. Sorry.
No, I mean that's kind of true. No, I mean all you said is true. I think you know it's well, most of News Trek. I mean, I can't remember whose YouTube channel I was listening to, but it was someone. They kind of said, and they said this quite well. They said Strange New Worlds is the most popular New Trek because it wears a skin suit of old Trek. And it's kind of true, and that
is very true.
You know, it looks superficially more like old Trek, I would say. Do you know what I mean? They've made that effort with the uniforms and stuff, I guess, kind of. And so I think if you're one of these people that doesn't really have a lot of critical reasoning skills, critical thinking skills, you'll be like, oh, this is like the Trek I remember, you know. Whereas obviously I think it's more insidious because I don't like what they do with legacy characters, the way they kind of destroy them and stuff.
We have a super chat. Sorry to interrupt. All Reloaded has given us a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Throwing in some support for the show. Appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much. So Starfleet fundamentally changes from a military TOS to a military hating organisation. Cultural change. Changes, by the way, not trying to argue here, so I can stop. Just try to find some perspective interesting. No, absolutely, and we don't argue. We tend not to argue on this channel or during this show. It's all about the lively debate, and if you know, I welcome all points of view, 100%. And I let me. I've just hearted the wrong thing.
Strange New Worlds Cam.
Yeah, Strange New Worlds Cam. I hope you see all the boils, pits, and pores on my face. So thank you very much for that super chat. That's very, very kind of you. No, it's interesting really, because I always thought of Starfleet as it is fundamentally a military wing of the Federation. It is militaristic. It's sort of like everything wrapped into one, isn't it? It's exploratory. It's scientific. It's militaristic. Either way you look at it, it is a military. I would say in the Next Generation it was more of a diplomatic military rather than just a full-blown I'd say with the new Trek stuff it's definitely more militaristic. There's very little scientific research that goes into. They don't deal with any interesting scientific concepts in New Trek. They just go, oh, science is so fucking cool, and that's it. That's all you hear on it. Undated retro would be accepted. The military angle and war arcs of Enterprise's cut Enterprise's budget in half. DS9 seemed to take more ambiguous stance to the universe. Moral situations weren't so clear cut, and they were they were in TOS or TNG. But yes, it was still Trek fundamentally, in my opinion. Yeah, I think the general. To summarize, I'd say that I summarize my thoughts. I would say that Star Trek always gave you dilemmas. It presented those dilemmas from a neutral standpoint, not from a neutral standpoint in regards to the characters, but the overall writing always left you with the same question. Was that the right thing to do? Did we do the right? Did Starfleet do the right thing? Is the way the character reacted, as a situation, the way the situation was left at the end of the episode, was it the right thing to do? You know, Voyager, although being TNG light and a massive wasted opportunity, was Janeway right to kill Tuvix, to end a life, to bring back 2 other crew members, when the Starfleet's fundamental principle is to explore strange new worlds and seek out new life, not destroy it? That's been said several times in Star Trek. The fundamentals were always there, and to leave you with the same ethical conundrum that the characters experience, and leave you to make up your own mind and debate it, and have live streams debating whether or not a decision that was made was the right call. New Trek doesn't do that. It tells you what to think, and it tells you how it is. And that's why I think Academy is going to fail, because it's just going to be a bunch of preachy nonsense. Now, the videos that I did, the recent one, the Academy one, that's on the channel if you haven't seen it already. It's only a couple of minutes long. It's just a bit of poking a bit of fun at it, but with some, I think, serious points.
Mm-hmm.
That show should be about... It can handle and deal with so many different issues within Starfleet Academy. You can have the cadets coming through Starfleet Academy, and you can have any number of ethical conundrums that they face. But I just know that it's going to be Dawson's Creek. It's going to be relationships. It's going to be who's sleeping with who. I mean, the Klingon doesn't even look like a Klingon. Academy just it doesn't, the situations that Academy is going to present us with are not going to be Star Trek situations. They're not going to be Star Trek ethics. It's not going to be anything like that. It's literally just going to be you sitting there watching things happen. And they already know, with Paul Giamatti being the main antagonist, why does it have to have a main antagonist? Why can't you just have a show that puts these cadets in different situations, facing different challenges, and growing as individuals and turning into professionals? Why can't you have that? Why can't you have, and I know this goes against everything I've been saying, but if you're going to do it, why not have The Rookie meets Star Trek? If you're going to do anything meets Star Trek.
Yeah.
Because The Rookie, I've got a thing for Nathan Fillion. He's my man crush. I love Nathan Fillion in anything that he's in. I just think he's a regardless of what you think of him personally, I love the characters that he plays. I loved him in Firefly. I loved him in... when he was in Buffy, I loved him there, and I love The Rookie. It's a great show. It's gotten a bit silly in the later years, but that's a good show. That's a good mentor show. So why wouldn't you do that if you're going to do Starfleet Academy? Why wouldn't you turn it into The Rookie, where you're just like, okay, you're cadets, you're put in this situation, what do you do? Or you've been put in this situation, what are you going to do about it? And have kind of like Hemmer from Strange New Worlds. Great character.
Yeah, he's great.
Why couldn't you do that? Some of the other chats, no, Janeway's a murderer and objectively hurtful. It's his ability to get home. I'd die on that hill, mate. You're not far off from where we are with that. We always say justice for Tuvix.
Hey.
Voyager was the worst premise imaginable. No, I don't agree with that, James Caserta. I don't agree with it. I think it had a superb premise. I think it had an absolutely monumental, epic chance of being the best Star Trek show ever created. What it did is wasted the opportunity, in my opinion, to really truly show, Starfleet in hardship.
Yeah.
because it had
it could have.
the ship just got clean every day.
Look, it could have been, a bit like Battlestar Galactica as in the 2000s remake, where you
Yes.
had, all these great storylines because, they were essentially, Voyager was as well, the only ship in that part of space that was a Federation ship,
Yeah.
They could have done so much more with it, but instead, as other people have said, as we've said, it kind of became TNG light for the most part. It was just kind of weekly episode, generic kind of, Star Trek story, and that was it for the most part. You didn't really have, you know, sometimes you wouldn't even know they're in the Delta Quadrant, really,
No.
apart from their fascination with the bloody Borg. But you
Oh,
know what I mean?
God. who is it? The Borg again? Really?
Yeah,
God, the
yeah,
Borg. Yeah, the Borg to death.
yeah. And so I think, and I do actually think, I think someone else has talked about Janeway being, Laurie Loader said Janeway is a murderer and objectively hurt Voyager's ability to get home. I think Janeway, they didn't understand how to write Janeway, I think was the issue. And so I think that's why she was kind of all over the place at times. I think maybe they didn't know how to write a female captain, perhaps it's fair to say, and so she ended up being, just a bit all over the place at times. Like the whole Tubix thing was a bit weird. There's other, and with Ransom, God, she was.
I
Yeah.
couldn't. I mean, we've said that Equinox should have been what Voyager was.
Yeah.
Struggling and really scraping with the Prime Directive. It's like she says, "Oh, I've wrestled with the Prime Directive, but I've never been forced into a situation where I've had to break it." But she couldn't understand why, and this is what Equinox in an entire difference. I think we've done a stream on Equinox before. Equinox is a superb episode, but that's what Voyager should have been. But you're right, Janeway. Janeway was so wishy-washy. She was so all over the place. You didn't know what to. She was. In some ways, you couldn't really guess as to what a character was going to do in any situation.
Yeah.
Whereas
exactly.
I think in parallel you'd think with Michael Dorn playing Worf. It's a bit of a jump, but stay with me. He knew his character. He knew what his character would do, and he knew what his character would not do. And I think there were several occasions where Michael Dorn would turn to the writers and say, "No, Worf wouldn't do that because I know my character. I know I play this character every day. I know what he would do and what he wouldn't do." And I think if you're, any decent actor would say, "My character wouldn't do that." So with Janeway, you would never know. I don't think you would never know. I to be fair, I thought it would have been braver if they had kept Tuvix, or maybe copped out and just said, "Actually, there's a way we can save Tuvix and Tuvok and Neelix, and have a great possibility for future storylines there." But no, Janeway. I think Janeway's questionable at best. There were times when she was a great captain. There was times when she was just a complete disaster. And I didn't. There's a lot of things with Janeway that I didn't buy. And Law Reloaded. I will say. I think it was Law Reloaded. I would say that the most frustrating Janeway missed opportunity to get home would have been False Prophets. But I've already said that. I've already said that in a previous stream. My God, that was painful.
I think, as I say, it was so formulaic, Voyager, and I think that's where it fell down. And that it was obviously, you knew it was going to last 7 seasons. We all knew they wouldn't get home for 7 seasons because that's just the way of things with Trek. So when you had those kind of episodes where they got so close but so far getting home, and the missed opportunities with Equinox, I thought that was a great 2-parter, genuinely. As I say, it's not my favorite show, and it's not one apart. There's a few episodes I'll go back and watch, like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Is that the one with the Doctor? You know what I mean? That one. Yeah, that one's
Tinker
good.
Tenor.
Yes,
Doctor
that
Spy.
one.
Yeah.
one. That one.
Great one.
That was. There's a few ones that are good with Voyager, but I mean, it's not a show that I'll go back. I wouldn't buy it all on DVD like I've done with Deep Space Nine. Do you know what I mean? I'm not as bothered.
No.
I just wouldn't.
Well, I do have them all, and to be fair, I wouldn't. It's not something I'd go back to all the time. Like I say, I'm very selective about Voyager. In the second episode, the very second episode, Parallax, they say, oh, and they're having they start the episode with a brief. Okay, so we're in the situation, we're in the Delta Quadrant, we've got no doctor, we've got no nurse, we've got limited food supplies, limited power, we've got to keep going home. What are we going to do? How are we going to survive? Well, we're going to set up an aeroponics bay. Right, we're going to train Tom Paris as a field medic. We're going to use the holographic doctor, we're going to keep him online. We'll cross several different bridges when we get to it. We've got to sort out crew promotions because we've got a bunch of new crew members where they're best to fit. That, I think, was the truest part of Voyager. It was the best part of Voyager. It was the most. It was the only prep that they ever did. And then they said, oh, we've got only 36 photon torpedoes and no way to replace them once they're gone. And they spent this show firing about 250 of the damn things. So, again, just so many missed opportunities. Unbelievable. And but I would still take Voyager over any new Trek show, even Prodigy. Well, to be fair, Prodigy is more of a Voyager epilogue, so I'd probably have those hand in hand. Because Prodigy is a great show. I still haven't finished that either. It's shameful. I really have slipped. But yeah, Prodigy is I wouldn't even call it new Trek because it's not.
No, it's not new Trek.
It's not new Trek. It really isn't. And anybody who hasn't seen Prodigy, who calls it new Trek, watch Prodigy. Get past, I think, the first 4 episodes, and then work your way through season 1. I know it's a kids show. I know it's Nickelodeon, but it's actually closely resembles a Star Trek show because I've grown-ups have watched this show and said actually it's really good. You can see where it's aimed at kids, but it's actually a really good show. The stories are quite compelling. It's got it's a little dry at times, but it's a superb show, and it's not a new Trek show. It's the animation's pretty good in it. There's some really nice Star Trek moments, and yeah, it's a great show. Not new Trek, because you find, and again, you could say that Picard season 3 is new Trek, but again, you watch it, and you think, well, actually, yes, you can tell where it's sort of connected to new Trek because of season 1 and season 2, which were abysmal, but season 3 is a completely different entity to the rest of new Trek. So it's sort of, those are the only 2 snippets I think that we take out of new Trek.
Yeah.
Because they're not new Trek. And it's funny how people that are involved with those shows are no longer working with Star Trek. It's like, the ones that were closely resembled the Star Trek that we had before, are suddenly they're not working for them anymore.
Well, that's it. You know what I mean? It's just completely ridiculous. That anything good in this kind of era is just completely stamped out. I didn't personally care that much for Picard season 3, but I know people did. Obviously, Terry Matalas, did his best effort with that season. He's then cast out, and the same with the 2 brothers who was it the Hageman brothers who created Prodigy? Yeah, they also cast out. And it's like that show was pretty good. It was definitely, I need to get it on DVD. Actually, I need to get it. If you can get it on DVD, I need to get it. It's a great show. It's just sad to see they just don't want. Kurtzman just wants his to dole out this slop for people to like it. And it's like, mate, people don't like it.
No, and he won't accept.
I'm sorry.
That. He won't accept that. And yeah. I've found that I've been more forgiving of Picard season 3 since I've rewatched it. I watched it with a fresh set of eyes, and if you really pay attention to the dialogue, if you really pay attention to what's being said, you really can pick up the fact that this was as anti-New Trek as it gets with modern Star Trek. And I appreciate what they did, you know. But, you know, I can understand why people didn't like it. I can understand that. I mean, I was skeptical of it. I gave it a chance. I thought the first 6 episodes were member-berry heavy, and then it just went into friggin' overdrive with nostalgia. It was a love letter. But those are the only 2 things that I'd take away. And to be fair, if we got classic Star Trek back, I'd sacrifice all of New Trek. I'd sacrifice everything that has been made since after 2005 to get it back. Tetrarch of Apathy, hello, my friend. So sorry, I think if I've missed your chat. Yes, Voyager had too many and too easy resets near pristine condition. Yeah, the damage control team on Voyager was impeccable, especially after Deadlock. Jesus. Deadlock, where the ship's in shambles, the bridge is destroyed, they're in engineering, the roofs kept falling in on them, the hull's destabilized, all the EPS conduits are blown up. And by the end of the episode, the ship looks nearly pristine again. It's like,
yeah,
you're not. No, I'm sorry, but it should have looked like Deadlock after the first season. Thinking,
true.
Oh, we've got battered, absolutely battered. So, I mean, I love it when we digress. It's like the stream has just turned into a great conversation with great people who are watching. So that's always a pleasure when it happens.
Yeah, going back to what Stephen Bromley said.
Yes.
Yeah, her treatment of Ransom was tone deaf. I agree. It's the whole thing. The whole thing was. Yeah, I find Equinox to be quite uncomfortable watching in some ways, because I find her self-righteousness to be completely off-piste. You know, it's so as you said, Stephen, very tone deaf. It's just like, it's a small science vessel. You know, they lost a lot of their crew. What did you expect them to do? I just don't understand what you expected them to do. It's completely mad.
These were humans that were pushed to the edge.
Yeah.
These were Cisco's in the pale moonlight. These were people who whose situation was dire, facing destruction. And when he quotes one of the Starfleet general orders, when he says, you know, a starship captain will do anything, you know, will do by any means to protect his crew and keep his crew alive. And she goes, "Oh, I doubt that means violating the Prime Directive." It's like, you're on a small ship in the Delta Quadrant. You're under attack by several hostile species, and you've got. I don't want to be insensitive here, but you've got space dolphins. And their matter can be converted into fuel. You haven't really met too many friendly faces, and yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm kind of with Ransom on this one. And it's amazing. This is. I don't know whether you agree with this, Watch Nerd, but this is what Star Trek is. This is what Star Trek is. When I first watched Chain of Command, I hated Jellicoe with a passion because he wasn't Picard and he was pissing the crew off. The older I got, the more I fell in love with Captain Jellicoe, because he's a badass captain, and he is absolutely 100% right. That's what Star Trek does. It gives you counterpoints to your own characters and makes you stop and think about the characters. It doesn't denigrate them. It just says Captain Picard doesn't need to push his crew because his crew will get stuff done And Captain Picard is sent on diplomatic missions a lot. He's quite laid back. He's a chilled out captain. He doesn't, he's got a strong personality, but people have a lot of respect for him. Jellicoe is a no holds barred, no bullshit captain. No bullshit character. No, I'm taking this ship into a potential battle. I want to work a 3-shift rotation, and we're going to do it now. So get on with it. Get the crew, whip them into shape. And Riker behaves like a petulant child. But you can have endless discussions about these characters' interactions and these characters, actions and what they do and how they think and their moral centers. You can have endless conversations about this, and you can't with new Star Trek. You can't in 2026 Trek. Strange New Worlds tries it, but it just falls so damn short. All the time. And the stories never go in depth enough. I don't, they don't have any depth. They're all shallow. It's shallow writing, and because the writers don't have any ability to go any deeper than the surface level. I love how he put Riker in his place, says Stephen Bromby. Yeah, I love that as well. I love a good shake up every now and then. And again, it was a similar thing with Jellicoe, as I had a similar thing with Captain Shaw in Picard, because we'd had 2 seasons of Picard being berated and beaten down by inferior characters and deconstructed and ripped apart, and in comes Shaw and basically acts like Jellicoe. And again on second viewing, I kind of actually get where Shaw's coming from, because it's quite funny really. But yeah, Jellicoe was a badass captain. Ransom, I think, was a Ransom was the Quark's definition of humans or humans in the Siege of AR, whatever it was. When he says, "Let me tell you something about humans, nephew. They're a wonderful, kind, caring people. As long as they've got food in their bellies and their holosuites are working. You take away their creature comforts, and they can become as bloodthirsty as any Klingon." And Ransom is the definition. That he fits that definition. He fits that definition because he's pushed to his edge. He's in the Delta Quadrant. He's on a little Nova-class science vessel with low armaments, limited crew, limited speed. His ship doesn't have bioneural circuitry. It's not the most advanced ship in the fleet. It's a Nova-class vessel, and he's got limited resources, and he has to get his crew home. And he started the journey by saying, we're going to uphold the values of Starfleet, we're going to meet new species. And it just so turns out that the species that he met didn't like him very much and wanted to destroy his crew. Hello, Matt Ross. Welcome to the show. Happy New Year, gang. Well, Happy New Year to you too, Matt Ross. If you don't know who Matt Ross is, check out Yelling at Gaseous Anomalies podcast. Good friend of the channel is Matt Ross. And he has no Leola root either. Leola root is fucking raw. I can't imagine. I can't imagine journeys through the Delta Quadrant on a Nova-class vessel. It would be... I mean, it's a small ship anyway. It'd be ever so confining. Voyager's massive in comparison, really.
Well, exactly. You wouldn't have the same constraints. I mean, it's just must be, yeah, it just must have been so grim. That's why they're wearing those little kind of VR headsets, wasn't it? And trying to
Yes.
escape. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing out that's worse, I imagine, would be doing it on the Defiant, but at least your Defiant class ship would have some teeth.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
But it's very, very cramped living quarters. I don't know. I think even the worst OG captains would be are just infinitely better than any new Trek captain. You know, and we've had some new Trek captains that have been decent. You know, Lorca, we quite like Lorca. He had potential. He did before they ruined his character. Really ruined his character. Wow.
Yeah, he was great. He was good. Good old Lorca. But yeah, that was so disappointing. I just remember watching Discovery season 1 and just being, as I say, it had been a while since I'd watched any Trek. It almost, as I've said before, it almost gaslit me into thinking, hey, maybe it wasn't very good. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I just misremembered it.
Yeah.
But what a terrible. Even season 1, I found it basically unwatchable. Because it was the weird orky Klingons, and
I could never.
Michael Burnham was. Yeah, I don't understand that.
Why redesign one of the staple species of Star Trek? Why redesign them? Why ever redesign them? I mean, don't get me wrong, they did it from the original series to the movies, sure, because makeup got better and the budget got bigger, absolutely fine. Doesn't mean you go all out and turn them into whatever the hell they were. I mean, they looked awful.
Yeah, they were.
They sounded awful. I mean, what was the garb all about as well? Their outfits. They look freaking gothic. It's like, where?
That was the thing.
Even in Enterprise, the Klingons, you notice they don't have warrior wear on them, so they don't have their typical sort of grey toned armor, warrior outfits that they wear. They're all very much in Klingon civilian clothing. Really, they all look like a bunch of traders in Enterprise because they hadn't gotten to that point yet, but they still look like Klingons. In Discovery, they look like, oh god, I couldn't even tell you what they look like. Something out of what was that? Was that sequel to Pitch Black? There's one with the necromancers or necromongers or whatever they were. Chronicles of Riddick. They look like something out of that. They're really gothic-y, full.
Oh yeah.
Full prosthetic. And each of them talking like they've got marbles in the bloody mouth. I don't understand. I just don't get it. I don't get what they were thinking. Revamping, maybe? Rebooting, maybe? I don't know. Either way, they look shocking. Absolutely shocking. Sometimes simplicity is the best thing. It was, they could have quite easily had the Klingons look like they did in the original series. Because Enterprise explained away the facial differences quite well. I think very well. And it's pre-Kirk, so they could have gotten away with just making the Klingons look like humans. It would have stayed within canon at least. Ridiculous. So that means the Vulcans are sparkly vampires. Sparkly vampires. If you have just joined the stream, don't forget to hit that like button and hit the share button as well. Share our stream far and wide. Share any of my videos far and wide. I like to get insulted by new people. Lorca was tainted by the idiocy of making them sensitive to light. Yeah, made them sensitive to light because all the people in the parallel universe don't have the same retinas or can't look at light because they've evolved to not look at light, because that was always a thing as well. Season 1 of Discovery was so fucking dumb.
Yeah, the darkness. Yeah, of course. I mean, at least there was kind of an explanation with the, obviously where Log was from, but still, yeah. As I say, I found Michael just so unlikable.
Oh,
I think
well,
it was Michael. Then there was also that what's his name? Played by Riz Lateef, the guy who looked human but was actually Ash, who was actually a
Ash.
Klingon.
Yeah, Ash the
I
Klingon.
didn't warm to his character either, and so I just think I kind of gave up, kind of mid-season one, and I was just like, I can't watch this anymore.
Well, they
I
showed the
never really went back.
reconstructive surgery, didn't they?
Yeah,
Ugh, it was grim as hell.
yeah, that was grim. And as I say, the next time I watched Discovery was when I was watching it for 10 Forward. I didn't touch it
Oh,
until
you.
I had to.
Here's the thing. I prefer that kind of watch nerd. To be fair, the one that I don't put through shitty Star Trek shows. I mean, it might be. It might be funny. I mean, it might be funny with the ones that we do after the first episode. If we do talk about it in any live streams with you or whoever's is actually on the show. It might be an idea if you just, I don't know, chant your disbelief of what I'm telling you
I'm
had
sure,
happened.
yeah. I'm sure.
'Cause
Like,
I
I'm
think that's
definitely
gonna
going to
be.
watch the reviews. It's going to be hilarious because it will be entertaining, your reviews. Because I just know that it's going to be so dumb.
Oh, shit show.
That we're going to get classic Danger Man, like Picard season 2 Danger Man. You know.
Well, it depends if there's anyone worthy of doing an impression of that Femme Hadar. Pretty husky.
God, that's ridiculous. Can I just say that's ridiculous? One, that she's a female, obviously, as we discussed, but two, she's meant to be. Isn't she a fitness instructor?
Yeah, she's the gym instructor.
God. Oh God.
The gym instructor.
Oh
so my dumb. God! Why would you make Pee Wee Herman the head of tactical? Jesus.
I know.
It's just doesn't.
I don't know.
Oh.
And yeah. I think if season 2 airs, I would be surprised because I think this is going to be Section 31 or Batgirl. It's going to be bad because as you said last week or the week before, sorry, 2 weeks before, that even like these new Trek channels that pump everything, they love everything. They've been quite silent. I've noticed about this.
Yeah.
No one's really been talking about it. Kind of like what happened with Section 31. And then even these Facebook groups where there's bots and just Paramount kind of stooges, they're really, again, very little. And when something is posted, there's way more negative comments than positive, which is weird because they'll delete a lot of the negative comments. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? It's not looking good. And that's going to be 15th of January, 15th of this month. It's going to be in 13 days' time. 13 days' time, I'll be finishing work, coming home, watching an hour of torture, probably putting out the quickest video I've ever put out. I might just turn around and say, it's shit. And that's it. That's all I'll give for my review. It's shit. I'll be back next week with more useful information. Looks like a real load of crap, that Academy show. Telling point was that my son had no idea what he was getting from the New York Comic Con booth other than a pin. There you go. That's New Trek. That's New Trek. 2026. We've already looked at the movies that are coming out. The notable ones, and they're all sequels or prequels or remakes. The ones that are noteworthy, all the blockbusters. For God's sake. So, what about TV shows other than Shit Trek Academy? We hopefully have For All Mankind coming. Season 5. I'm hoping that's going to be around the summer. I hear there's another season of Reacher coming this year, so that'll be good. Reacher's a great show if you haven't watched it. That's a tremendous show. Not overly strong every season, but it's very entertaining. So we getting those. What else is coming out? Strange New World season 4. If it happens to rear its ugly head, or whether or not Starfleet Academy just kills Trek altogether, that'll be really interesting. That'd be so funny if that happened.
I mean, dude, I could really see that happening. I just don't. I think they've curtailed season 5 for a reason. I was surprised they only have 6 episodes of season 5.
Yeah,
that surprised me. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. What else we got TV show wise? Oh, this might be an interesting one. Another Marvel one, Vision Quest. If anybody gives a flying toss bag about that, I'm not sure I do. And there's another Game of Thrones spin-off, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. So yeah, it's not looking good. There's a young Sherlock show. Oh yay! Wow, fantastic. There's a Blade Runner show apparently coming out. Wow, 2026 is looking great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to any games in 2026, Watch Nerd?
You know, so I know we played the what is it, the kind of taster for that Voyager, Across the Unknown. I think
Yes.
It's called on Steam. I mean, look, I'm going to check it out when it comes out. I'll see what the reviews are like. If it's okay, I'll get it. Just because it's a low budget kind of indie studio, and I think they like Star Trek. And the only thing that really turned me off about the kind of preview of it that I played through was the lack of voices. There was no voices. You know, I think I can forgive everything else. I would just want, you know, some voices. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Some voice work would be nice.
Yes. So I hope when it is released, it comes out with that voice work. Yeah, that would be great. I think that's it, really. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, I mean, obviously, we know that Grand Theft Auto is meant to be coming out in November. We'll see.
Meant to be. Yeah.
Yes.
A release date of November sometime 2026. It's funny how it was supposed to be coming out May something 2026, but is no longer happening. Oh dear. I think the new James Bond has been delayed until May as well. But I've also heard that it's gonna be Bond for a new modern audience. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Look, in my personal opinion, right? There's certain characters that they are who they are.
Yeah.
So James Bond was written as a kind of post-World War II person who had served in the Royal Navy, was, you know, an officer of the Royal Navy, a commander, I believe, and then had joined MI6.
Yes.
So obviously, he is going to be a certain type of person, right? Whether you like that or not, you know, he's going to be, I guess, very traditional, quite old school. That's just his character. And I just, again, it goes against the character of the genre to then make it uber wokey dokey. Although I hate that phrase, but you know what I mean? It's just not going to work. It's just not. It's like making Star Trek like Dawson's Creek. People who watch Dawson's Creek don't want to watch Star Trek.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
People who watch Star Trek don't want to watch Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, you're muddying the waters, and you're just going to make it a commercial disaster. That's all you're doing. Because the people who like James Bond films are going to be like, might go to the new one and they'll be like, what the fuck is this? Excuse my French, but what is this? Like, I've not paid my money to watch this.
It's unrecognizable.
Yeah, you know, it's the same across the IPs. You know, most IPs. It's just, it doesn't need to be done. I don't know why they do it. I don't know why they have this fascination trying to do it, because all it does is hurt their bottom line. They don't make money from it. And I think a lot of the ESG money is drying up anyway.
Yeah.
It's not really in the zeitgeist anymore, the whole uber wokey dokey ESG stuff. So I don't understand why they're still trying to flog that dead horse.
No.
Genuinely.
No, I don't. Yeah, James Bond. I remember Nightfire, Die Another Day, and what was the other one? They were released on PS2 and GameCube and stuff. Agent Under Fire, GoldenEye as well, GoldenEye Reloaded. All those Bond games I thought were brilliant. Okay, I loved Nightfire and I loved Agent Under Fire because they had elements of all types of different gameplay. You had first-person shooter, then you had car chases, you had all the gadgets in the car. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But it was James Bond, okay?
Yeah.
The character was James Bond, a womanizer. You know, he's just like, Miss Moneypenny, come over here while I spank you off camera because we can't get that kind of rating. You know, it was all that good old-fashioned Bond stuff. You know, like, turn the cameras off, Emma, I'm going in for the kill. It's just, now, if you take those elements away from James Bond, it's not James Bond anymore, it's just generic spy film. So, it's going to be the same with the game. It's just going to be another generic spy game, if they're not careful. If it's true that they have tailored it and changed the character for modern audiences, they're already screwed. They've absolutely screwed the pooch. There's no point in you making the game, because although it'll probably make you a bit of money, you'll just end up alienating the rest of the fans. It's ridiculous. Oh my god, sorry, Jwayne7231. Sorry, I'm quite a distance from the screen here, and I'm getting old, and my eyesight's going. It says Resident Evil Requiem. Resident Evil Requiem has me concerned. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big Resident Evil fan. Just ask Reaver Jill Sandwiches. Ask anyone. I love Resident Evil. Love me some Resident Evil. Loved the series since its inception back in 1996, 30 years ago. I absolutely love Resident Evil. And I can talk about... everybody said. Sorry? Sorry, mate.
Sorry. I think my computer's updating.
Oh, okay.
My apologies.
No, it's
my
okay.
Apologies there.
Not a problem. Yeah, I absolutely adore Resident Evil. Second to Star Trek, it's my favourite franchise of all time. Absolutely love it. I love the original games more than the modern stuff. And now... Resident Evil Requiem has me worried simply because they're marketing a fucking car. They're marketing a fucking car, a Porsche, and they're making the Resident Evil pages are like, Leon drives a Porsche, drives this new Porsche Cayenne or whatever it is. Like, no one gives a fuck. I can't afford a fucking Porsche. Why would I? I'm here to play a fucking Resident Evil game. Why the hell do I want to know about a fucking car? Why the hell would you try and sell me a car for a fucking game? I get product placement. I get that sort of stuff. You get a lot of money from it. Fine, fair enough. But Jesus fucking Christ, I want to play Resident Evil. It's a survival fucking horror game. I don't give a shit about your fucking what car the fucking protagonist drives or the antagonist drives. I don't care. I want a Resident Evil game.
I mean, I think that's a bit of a weird thing to place anyway in the game.
It's ridiculous.
There is definitely a demographic of people that like Porsches and would buy Porsches, whether they be Macans, Cayennes, 911s, whatever it is, retro. Be they vintage, be they newish, but they're probably not. I think a video game is too broad. You want to have it targeted, I would imagine. I don't know.
You could do it in Gran Turismo or Forza.
Yeah, true.
That's what they're there for. Those games, showcase those cars very nicely. Thank you very much. But this is a Resident Evil game. What? I think modern gaming's beginning to suffer from an identity crisis and a lack of focus on what really matters. And I think in some ways the PC era of gaming is somewhat, not specifically PC gamers, but the PC technology race, okay? is somewhat to blame for this, because now it is all about how the game looks rather than how it plays, what it's about, and the content within. It's all about how it looks. Oh, look at the superior ray tracing abilities and all these key performance indicators on the games. And it can run. I need a graphics card that needs a power supply from a small country to run. But look at my graphics card. Look at all the defined lines and shadow work that my graphics card can put out. I was having this conversation with Reva. If you're playing a computer game, I love a realistic looking computer game, but it's not the most important thing to me. The most important thing to me is I can get immersed in what I'm playing. I still play Voyager Elite Force, and that looks like shit. The characters, honestly, they don't even have moving mouse. They have little South Park mouse when they're talking. I still play Star Trek Invasion, Star Trek freaking Armada, because they're fun games to play. I don't care how they look. It doesn't need to look very good. I notice everybody disappears out of the stream when I start talking video games, but still, it doesn't matter to me how a game looks. But what matters to me is how it plays. It always has. I still play original Resident Evil 2. I still play Metal Gear Solid, the first game. I still play all of these games. I have a gaming channel. I play all of the games on the gaming channel. Silent Hill, all these classic games, because they're far superior to anything that we have now. It's like GTA 6, for example, Watch Nerd. You've been following GTA 6 as well as I've been following GTA 6. GTA 6, James Caserta, thank you very much for stopping by. Appreciate that. Good night, my friend. GTA 6, I've got a problem with it. And the problem is, I've apparently got a problem with a lot, so I do apologise. I don't know about you, Watch Nerd, but I don't care. It's like, I've never cared with GTA if you've got a girlfriend or not. And I've never cared for GTA if you get a haircut. I've never cared in GTA if you any of the normal life stuff. But GTA 6 looks like it's going to be so bloody comprehensive that it's just going to feel like a life simulator.
Yeah, I think that too. I think it's... Yeah. I mean, I think open world games are cool. Like, I've started playing Cyberpunk 2077. I downloaded it last week on the PlayStation 5. I think it's good, but I think, yeah, open world games always have that. You can take it to a level that it's kind of like daily life, albeit in a different, maybe dystopian environment. But do you know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah, and there's realism in that, and that's fine. But I think half of the fun in playing a game like Grand Theft Auto is being able to do things that you're not able to do in real life. Have a bit of fun. But it's like... It's like I think they're throwing way too much into it. And I think, I'm not on the Grand Theft Auto 6 bandwagon. I will get it. I will buy the game because it's a Grand Theft Auto game, and I own every Grand Theft Auto game right back to the very beginning. But nice. I can have more fun on top-down Grand Theft Auto than I can on Grand Theft Auto 5. It's just more fun. They were more fun back then. Now it's just too much. It's too complicated. There's just too much to do. Yeah, it's like Bridge Commander. Star Trek Bridge Commander. You might as well just call it Bridge Simulator, because that's what it is. It's a bridge simulator. You have to really get engaged with the game to be able to play it, and I'm sure people do enjoy it. That's not really my cup of tea. I like Resurgence, because the graphics ain't great, but the gameplay is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fun to play. Modern games to me they're just not fun to play. You know, the latest Call of Duty's not done very well. I've got Battlefield 6. I played it once through the campaign, enjoyed it, really enjoyed it. But Call of Duty, it used to be fun. Now it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It all
How
sucks.
long did it take you to play through the campaign in Battlefield 6? Was it long or?
Actually, I don't think I've actually got to the end yet. I've spent about 7 or 8 hours on it. Yeah, it's not bad. The game is fine. It's a shooter game, but it focuses on remaining a shooter game. It's a military shooter. Call of Duty's just gotten ridiculous. Call of Duty is an absolute mess. I remember Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. That was brilliant to play on the PS3. It was fantastic. I loved it because it was simple. You just went in there, shot people. You shot people. You called in your UAV and your drone, your helicopter strike and your missile strike. It was just good fun. It was good, honest fun. Now it's just. Now you got Rick and Morty in it. Now you got Beavis and Butthead in it. You know. Now you've got. Oh my god! It's just. It's insanity. And it's just money. It's just money. It's not the art anymore. It's not entertainment. It's money. And that's generally speaking what entertainment is now. It's just money-driven crap. It's not even entertainment. But you're not making things to entertain people anymore. Money's always been the focus, but entertainment, you didn't get the money if you didn't entertain people. Now people just throw money at anything, expecting it to make money. GTA 6 will, because it's GTA 6 and it's going to make billions. It's going to be the best-selling game of all time, and we all know it is on every platform. It's going to be this behemoth because it's been in development for well over a decade and it's had billions of dollars of investment already, and it's going to make billions because it's GTA 6.
Yeah.
I'm kind of disheartened with gaming nowadays. There are some really nice games out there, and I do play some modern games. I have played Cyberpunk. I've not played an awful lot of it. I think I've played it for a few hours. I've not gone back to it because I had to free up my hard drive for other things, but I like it. It's just it had a bad rep when it came out. It wasn't complete. It wasn't finished, and it was buggy and glitchy.
Yeah.
But that's another bugbear of mine. Watch Nerd. Incomplete games. Once the game went gold, you couldn't do anything to it back in the day, and I think that is an important thing. I think once a game goes gold, you shouldn't be able to patch it.
No, I agree.
Because it just breeds laziness. It breeds bad coding.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad for the software development life cycle. It's kind of bad practice. Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. Yeah, not good.
No, it's not.
I think there's been that, I think, disease almost in like modern game development of it just being shoddy. Not all of it, obviously. Not all of it.
No, and there's some fun indie games out there. I always try to support indie developers. Invader Studios, they're fantastic. The creators of Daymare, I like Daymare. It's cheesy as in its dialogue is chronic, but it's just a fun, enjoyable game. And Daymare Sandcastle was fantastic. So for those who don't know, Invader Studios, Daymare, they were making a Resident Evil 2 remake. They got I believe they got, don't quote me on it, I believe they got a cease and desist from Capcom when they wanted to make their own, obviously they own the IP, they wanted to make Resident Evil 2 remake. So the Invader team turned it into Daymare and used the same basic build to create Daymare. And I always like to support indie game developers. They're really good. It does open the door for a lot of slop that comes through. I don't know whether you've seen the PlayStation Store lately. It's looking very much like the Steam library. It's not very good. It's just full of like, genuinely, there is a sex shop simulator on the PS Network. It's like, what is
Oh,
that
wow.
even doing there? Cannabis
That's
store
crazy.
owner simulator. So what? It's just
Wowzers.
slop. But
I think that ties into the whole AI slop thing, though.
mhm.
And I actually read. I was trying to find the article. Let me try and find it whilst I'm babbling on. But I think that Nvidia are going to increase the prices of their GPUs. So the latest Nvidia chip, I think, which is in this gaming laptop, actually is the 5090, as in graphical processing unit. And I think they're increasing the price of that GPU from $2,000 to $5,000, which is insane.
This is I saw this as well, because it's the reason console prices might start skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Might
Let me double
doubling.
check. I want to fact check myself. So yes, so Nvidia's GeForce RTX 5090, which is in this laptop, which is launched at a price point of $1,999, i.e. $2,000, is expected to see a significant price increase, potentially reaching up to $5,000 by January 2026.
Holy
Price hike is distributed.
shit!
Yeah, 2.5 times the price. Yeah.
Yeah.
High cost of memory. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the memory.
Market.
Yeah. It's AI taking all the fucking RAM.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jesus.
So I'd say if you want to get a gaming laptop, PC, or console, do it now.
Do it now. Do it
before
now.
Nvidia raise those prices.
Fucking hell.
I know. And that means I could probably I wouldn't sell this laptop. I could sell this laptop for a big profit because it's got a 5090 in it.
You could. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know what my new one's got in it. I don't mind. Mine technically isn't a gaming laptop. It's probably not as spec'd up as I would have originally wanted it to be, but it's what have I got? I've got to figure out how to find out now. Hold on, because that is upstairs. I think I was sent the specs.
Insane price increase, isn't it?
It's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. And this is games consoles are going to have exactly the same problem. Their prices are going to double in price because of the cost of freaking memory. So my graphics processor on my brand new system is it's an internal GPU, of course. It's an onboard GPU. Fucking hell! I'm looking through the specs. I'm trying to find it. Beg your pardon. Blah, 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 blah. It's 64 gig of RAM. That's not bad. Very good. Very nice. I'll take it. Okay, so I've got an NVIDIA RTX A2000 8GB laptop GPU. Basically.
There you go.
So yeah, it's quite a good one. It's not gonna friggin'. It's a few years old. But I've got it's DDR5. It's a 20. Hold on. Yeah, 64. A200 8GB video card. An i9 20 core 5 GHz processor.
Not bad.
Not bad, mate. To be fair, I've edited all my videos on it, and it's just gone through seamlessly. Brilliant. I won't use it for gaming though, because I want to use it for editing. That's my main priority. But it's just okay. This is supposed to be about Startrek in 2026, but AI is starting to scare me.
Yeah, it's insane. That's just insane.
Anybody else in here is terrified of AI, both in what it's doing to the economy and also what it's capable of. Come on, the warnings have been out for 50 years about AI and what it's doing, what it can do. 6 to 8 months ago, a video of Will Smith eating spaghetti created by AI looked like a monstrosity. You type the same thing in right now, it looks almost perfect. That's learning. That's development of AI. AI generation. I mean, my avatar's kind of like an AI face swap. So I'm in a Starfleet uniform and whatnot, and it's all very good and playful and everything. But I don't know whether you've seen the AI examples of you can put yourself into an AI video where you're running between sets of famous movies, meeting all the actors as they were back when, and it looks perfect. Now you do it, and it you know, I tried an AI prompt where I said I'm visiting William Shatner on the set of classic Star Trek, and it was an abomination. It looked nothing like Will Shatner or nothing like Star Trek. But I think you prompt it enough, you'll get it. But it's serious. Fucking, you watch the Y-Files video on AI, then you'll get scared on what it is. And now we've got a RAM shortage. Prices are skyrocketing because they need all the RAM for AI, for AI servers, and it's just bonkers. It worries me. It concerns me.
I think a lot of it is though like a bit of a circular economy, and that you've got Nvidia who give Microsoft money, Microsoft give OpenAI money, and it's all kind of like this big triangle because Nvidia produces GPUs. So I think it's a lot of it. I'm not sure. Like I think some LLMs are great. I'm not sure they're at Battlestar Galactica levels or ever will be. But some LLMs are good, and you can create AI agents. Yes. But I think it's in the interest of some of these companies to obviously overstate what they can do because they have to keep this circular economy going because the data centers are very expensive.
Yes.
And as I understand it, banks won't lend to these AI companies because they know that basically the TLDRs, both the servers and the chip and the GPUs, go out of, they basically become obsolete, within a couple of years. So you can't really lend significant amounts of money based on that. Do you know what I mean? There's all this weird circular economy, and I'm not sure. Look, I'm not an economic expert, but I'm not sure how long this can go on, because how long can Nvidia keep jacking up the prices of the GPUs for? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that question, but to me that seems like a fairly ridiculous price hike.
Oh, it's an unbelievable price hike. Suddenly a PlayStation, PS5. I mean, what the cost brand new, still around the £400 to £500 mark. Talking about £1,000 for a video game console. Not to mention the Steam machine. That's coming soon, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they've not already got those GPUs. It's going to be double the price.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Marketing the Steam machine at about $700. $1,400. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's staggering to me. It's absolutely staggering. Game prices have shot up. It's unreal now because you count for inflation. You count for inflation over the years. I mean, a brand new PlayStation game, one game would be $44.99. That's in this country it would be $44.99 retail at new. Now it's double that. It's double that if you want a digital version which has no packaging, has no cover design and cover artwork and instruction booklet and stuff that physical disc that costs to produce. In some deluxe versions of games are £120.
It's mad.
Now I understand Grand Theft Auto is going to be probably around the £100 mark. I know that the deluxe version is probably going to be about 150. I understand that because it has been in development for 10 years. It's going to, the replayability of Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be astronomical, and it's going to serve them for many years, and they're going to put a big price on it because it's going to be such a huge game. I don't even think there's no way on earth they're going to fit that game onto a disc. The disc will be that you buy a physical copy of Grand Theft Auto. All you're going to do is get a base install file and an access key. You put your disc in the PlayStation, and all the disc is going to do is authorize you to download the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Because that's all Call of Duty is now. You don't really get anything on the disc. They'll just put the base file on the disc and it'll download the rest of the game. Because your Call of Duty install is just like done. And it's like, well, okay, it's installed the game. No, it hasn't. It's just installed the packet or the software that you need to download the game off the servers. That's all Grand Theft Auto is going to be. So you might as well just get the digital because the disc is just going to be completely pointless.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Freaking mad.
Mad. You buy the disc, you buy a disc game, and you stick it in your PlayStation 1. You know, and it played the game instantly. You buy a disc nowadays and you stick it in a console. It takes about 2 hours for you to download the installation file, and then you've got day one updates, and then you've got updates after that. Grand Theft Auto is just going to have so many updates. Call of Duty is 350 gigabytes of your hard drive space if you want it, because it has to install the entirety of the Call of Duty database every time. It's so funny. It's so funny. It really is.
I don't know. I think they need to find a way, I think, to make it. I don't mean if this. I mean, I guess this GPU price increase is happening. They'll need to make it more affordable, I guess. Like, otherwise, you're going to be their sales will suffer for sure.
Well, they say that the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, isn't it? I think that's what it's called. I don't know Xboxes anymore. Gave up after Xbox One, to be fair, but those sales have declined massively in the Asian markets because it's not buying them. And again, if all the internals shoot up in price,
yeah,
you think they're gonna absorb that cost? Hell no, they're gonna charge you twice as much. Of course they are.
Yeah.
Sizes of games are shooting up as well. You need at least 1 terabyte hard drive these days to house only a handful of modern games. Yeah. And yet on my Steam Deck, I've got a back catalogue of, I don't know, 25 PlayStation 2 games, something like 40 odd PlayStation 1 games, a couple of 360 games, a couple of GameCube games, there's stuff like that. And that's I've got the basic 256 gigabyte model. And I've still got a bunch of Steam Deck games on there.
Yeah, exactly.
I can fit all of that on.
Sustainable.
Exactly. And on my PlayStation, on your PlayStation 5, you install Call of Duty and then Grand Theft Auto 6. That's all you're getting on. That's all you are getting on. 2 games on a fucking internal storage.
Yeah.
It's absolutely maddening. It's so mad. Hey, at least memory is not like the 1980s expensive. I mean, that's true. You young kids didn't suffer through that. Young kids, I remember getting a computer in the early 90s, very early 90s. Bloody hell. The second-hand computer was bloody expensive back then. A lot of the time you were paying more for the monitor than you were for the PC.
Oh, wow.
Fucking crazy it were.
Yeah, I was too young for that to remember that. But, yeah, I don't know. As I say, I think it'll be interesting to see where these GPUs go price-wise. And, if there's, because it just, you can't keep price hikes like that. Otherwise, it's just going to be the AI companies that have these GPUs, and then the gaming industry is just going to go, on the decline, I'd imagine, fairly quickly, unless they can find a cheaper alternative. I don't know.
The gaming industry is unrecognizable now, anyway. It's all microtransactions. You can just get people to buy extras. Buy extras for the games. To buy the rest of the game. Spend the next 5 years buying the rest of the game. You've already spent £80. Here's some downloadable content and special content that you can pay more for.
I know. Yeah.
Just release a game, man. Just release a game. People will play it. People will, you notice how CEX. I'm not going to say what it's actually called. We call it CEX, to be fair, in this family. The second-hand game stores, you like your GameStops, and I think it's GameStop in America.
Yeah.
The amount of copies of games that they have. The amount of copies of games that they have, modern copies of modern games. You see, the retro stuff is rare. You don't really see it as much, but they've got walls and walls of all these games that people just don't play anymore. They just get rid of them. They get rid of them because they're just not interesting games to play.
Yeah.
And it's just completely stupid. And they were huge and heavy. The monitors, they were expensive, huge and heavy. You needed we had a metal, like a full metal computer desk, with wooden tops. So it was really heavy steel as well, just to hold the fucking monitor. It was so. I mean, I bought a PC. So I was. About 2002, I bought myself a brand new Pentium 4.
Pentium, I remember them. Yeah,
Pentium 4, yeah. And it was beautiful, this computer. It could do so much. It had Windows XP on it. It was fantastic. And it came with one of the big heavy monitors, and I decided to wall mount it because I thought I was being clever. Damn thing fell off, didn't it? Didn't bury the raw plugs deep enough, and it fell off, but it survived. It bounced. You know, these modern monitors that they break, but yeah, it bounced and survived. But it was heavy and came down like a sack of spuds. It was unbelievable. The bulky old CRT style monitors, blimey, they were a pain in the arse to move about as well. Yeah, they were, but they were hardy and they lasted. They lasted. You could throw controllers against them and they would not break. Your controller would break first.
Yeah.
If you threw a Nokia 3310, that would be an unstoppable, immovable object versus unstoppable object.
They were great, and they kept their battery. Those phones.
Oh my God! Amazing, you could be on the phone for hours and you'd be like, "Oh, I've still got full bars."
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's turning into nostalgia trip. I love it. The old Nokia 3210. You dropped it, there'd be an earthquake in China. The technology back then. I just think it was simpler times. It was better times. It was so much nicer to be a gamer back in those days, because the games that, don't get me wrong, you still had subpar games, and you had it with a lot of the Atari stuff, the Mega Drive, the SNES and NES. You had all these like really shoddy titles where anyone could really go into coding and make a game. You had rip-offs and you had all sorts of, also your bootleg stuff and that. But it was a quaint era. It was fun. Nowadays, what you have is games like TV shows that take years to develop, years to come out, years to make.
Yeah.
I was having this conversation again with Reva, the Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil remake, I beg your pardon, that came out on the GameCube. It took 1 year and 1 month to make the entire game. 1 year and 1 month from start to finish, from initial green lighting, early development, to making the game. And it's a gorgeous game that still holds up to this day. I still play it, and it's fantastic, and it looks beautiful. Got the entire Let's Play on my gaming channel. I love that game. It's a beautiful game, and it holds up to this day. Graphically, beautiful. 1 year and 1 month. This Resident Evil that's going to be releasing this year in February, next month, been in development for years and years. It's like, yeah, I'm sure it looks very nice, but again, that experience is gone. They've changed it too much. They've changed COD too much. I saw a comment a little bit further up the chat. I believe it was Stephen Bromby, COD is chasing that Fortnite gimmick. Yeah, Fortnite. It's just, I don't get me wrong, I played it with the kids. We had a good time. It was a good laugh. But it's a gimmick. They just keep changing the skin. It just keeps reskinning itself. It's still the same bloody game.
Yeah.
So it's a 3210 made a great doorstop. And the battery outlasted the phone, which was solid, and the classic game Snake. Yeah, it's brilliant. This isn't just nostalgia. I think they were better times because it was just more controlled. You released a game. That was it. As soon as it went gold and they started burning the game, they couldn't re-release it unless they wanted to do a director's cut. They couldn't patch it. It held them to account. And I think, again, you could make the same comparison with Hollywood. Oh, we'll fix that out in post. No.
I know.
Put the effort in now. Make the physical sets. Build the physical sets.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Die Hard used the fucking Fox building that they just bought to film Die Hard. That was Nakatomi Plaza. The Nakatomi building was the new Fox building that they just bought, and they blew it up. They freaking did whatever they want with it. And the set looks fantastic, and all the effects look brilliant. The practical effects are fantastic. The stunts are brilliant. Nowadays, we're going to Die Hard with a CGI, and there's just everything blowing up in the background, and it looks shit. It looks so bad because it's just that they fix it in post. Well, I think all the creativity's gone. It's just too easy. I can make an action scene on my laptop now. I can generate one. I can literally film me on a green screen dive bombing out of my kitchen, and I can put myself in a completely CGI background and make it look like I'm in an action film. It'd be hilarious, but I can do that in the front fucking living room now. So where's the effort? You know, we hold these studios to a higher standard. Where's the effort? Most of New Trek is CGI now.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing with Strange New Worlds. It does look good, but I mean that's it. That's why it kind of wears that skin suit, I guess. But there's not much behind it. It's just kind of the Emperor with no clothes, really. Yeah, you know.
Well, it was like those you said those bots in the Academy trailer.
Yeah.
Little robots everywhere putting out fires. Why you don't need them? Why have they put robots in everything?
I don't know.
I don't get it. It's just, why is it all mainly just CGI? It's disconnecting. It just looks like shit. It looks like slop. It's turned into a right monathon, this first installment of 2026.
I mean, to be fair, we said positive things about good games.
Yeah.
As I say, I'm playing Cyberpunk on and off now. Only downloaded it last week. It's good fun. If for anyone that's not played Cyberpunk 2077, I'd say give it a bash. It's reduced at the moment on the PlayStation Store. It was £35. It's now £17.99. I think it's good. Yeah, it's a good thing to buy.
Not that you've added me on the PlayStation Network yet, have you?
No, you've got me. You've got me on there. You? Yeah, I'll send you a message.
Really?
I don't have. I'll send you what my handle is.
Oh yeah, no, of course, no, that's fine. I to be fair, I haven't checked my friends list in ages. You know.
Nah, I know what you mean.
We're boomers. It's what we do. Yes, that's true.
Complain.
But no, good. Again, good game.
Yeah, great game, and as I say, it's good to. Startrek Online is a great game. There's good games around. It's just that you just have to be selective, I think, and I guess hope that you buy a console or a PC that lasts you a few years. Because at the moment, obviously, you don't want to be trying to buy a PC or a console because the prices are going to shoot up, I think.
Well, they've said that PS6 is going to be delayed until 2029. I'm thinking, I've only just got my PS5. I feel like I've only just bought it. I mean, I got it back in 2020, 2021, whatever it was. And And I think this console's still got so much life in it. Right? The PS2 was one of the most. It was the highest selling console of all time, with the largest game library of all time. It was the longest lasting console generation.
Yeah.
You don't need PlayStations. What? I know you've got to do R&D and create a new console, but I can't afford to buy a new console every 5 fucking years.
Yeah. And it's also just a pain, it's like having to dispose of the old console or keep it. It's just that whole, like, just stuff. And for me, no one really wants to have that kind of cycle of consoles every few years, because there's nothing wrong with the PlayStation 5.
It's a perfectly serviceable machine.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, no issues.
Like I say, you can't overclock the graphics on it. You can't change specific elements about the graphics. It's not a PC, it's a console. You stick a disc in and you play a game. That's what it's there for. But I don't know about you, but I don't go for everything looking absolutely perfect. Don't need it to. I'm on the generation where I watched Blake 7 and the effects were shit. At the time they were fantastic, but they're comparably shit. But I can still watch it and go, I really enjoy that, because it has soul. Console. I think consoles are just fine.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with them.
And
I think, I mean, I enjoyed. I think maybe it's because my first experience of gaming as a kid was the Nintendo 64.
Oh.
Obviously, that was quite a grainy console. I loved it though. I loved kind of putting in the cartridges.
I loved it.
That was cool. The physical cartridges were nice. And I think it was GoldenEye, Mario Kart, and I think Zelda were my first video games I ever played. So for me, I just like to play the game.
Yeah.
I like the story, whatever that might be. And I'm not overly bothered about, graphics being perfect, really. As I say, that might be a generational thing, because I did have that as my first experience of gaming. So maybe it's going to be different for subsequent generations, but I loved it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, even my kids say nothing's really sparking my interest, and I think that's tragic. My son, he's approaching 14, and we went downtown the other day. He said, I want to get myself a game. I said, yeah, fair enough. You've got your Christmas money, whatever. And he bought himself Ghost of Tsushima. Now I've got Ghost of Tsushima. I've got it digitally, and I enjoyed it. I said it got a little bit repetitive, as open world games quite often do.
Yeah.
I said, but and he's really enjoying it. He's loving it. But he said, I just don't feel that modern game. They're just all the same. They just suck. And I said, that's tragic. He says, I want to be fair, I've watched you playing your old games, and he says, I've watched you on your stream, and they seem so much more interesting. And that's a young generation saying it. So I'm worried. I'm a little worried about the future of gaming. But in some ways, it's like Star Trek. I've always got the old stuff to fall back on.
Yeah.
And Guna says, I loved Star Fox on the SNES. Was blown away by the visuals and the gameplay. Yeah, again, I thought Resident Evil 2 looked fantastic. Metal Gear Solid looked brilliant.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid played amazing. I loved it. The second one was just a graphical leap and was so much more improved. But they still kept the focus on the gameplay. It's all about the gameplay, because that's why you're there. You're there to play a game.
Exactly.
Cinematic experiences can work. We know that from The Last of Us. But then Uncharted and games like that. But I don't like the hand-holding a lot of games do nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, The Last of Us 1, that was a good modern game.
Oh, it's beautiful. I think that was almost the perfect balance for a game, because there was a lot of story, but there was a lot of gameplay. And it was a really good balance. I think they've just gone a bit too far now.
Yeah, just a bit, I guess. Just a bit. And it was like, I guess it was a shame, because obviously the second one was so anticipated and it was very divisive.
Yeah, it was. Shh, don't tell Guna.
I know, but everyone can like or not like.
Yeah, exactly.
Game.
And
fine, you know.
Yeah, I mean, The Last of Us 2, I think, was as pretty as the first one. It had the similar gameplay to the first one, and you know, it was good. It was I played a bit of it, and it was fun to play. Just the story shit. Horizon Forbidden Dawn was good, but I found Forbidden West kind of trying or tiring. Yeah, what did you see? Yeah, Horizon Forbidden Dawn. That was the first one, wasn't it? Horizon. I liked it. It was just a bit repetitive. So world, go here. You know, unlock this area. Go there. Unlock that area. It's a classic open world. But the second one, I've not really played much. I think I have it somewhere, but I've not really played much.
You've got to be in the mood for open world games. Like, I like them.
Or you're gonna have the commitment as well.
Yeah, but it's for me, because I like story based kind of games. I think I like them, but you need to have the patience.
Yes. Yeah, I always liked Just Cause because it was just fun. They might as well just change the name to Just Fun, because that was open. That's open world. And you just go to places, liberate places. But it's so much you can do to have fun and be creative in how you deal with the government forces in each area. Because you're just liberating a dictatorship, basically, by destroying government property and, shutting down. It's like propaganda billboards, propaganda vans, statues, fuel depots and all of that stuff. You just get to blow it up and have fun. And
nice.
and be creative, and then just open up the map. I'm a man of simple pleasures. That's what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I bought Cyberpunk 2097, isn't it? In a stream sale. Looking forward to playing that this year. Yeah. And again, it's not a bad game. It had a bad rep when it came out, same as No Man's Sky and a few other games that have just had a shoddy release because they've been released and not finished as they why they weren't finished. Star Wars Outlaws wasn't fucking finished. I'm still, Mauler did a 17-hour video. I'm still trying to make my way through that video. 17-hour review of a video game that is shocking. It was so buggy and glitchy. Why wouldn't you finish the game? I don't get why you wouldn't finish making the game before you fucking released it. Oh, we've got to hit the release date window. Why? You're releasing something to the public. Yes, you've got a certain amount of investment that you have to put into it. And money that investors are starting to say we want to see the return on this. It's like, well, if we rush this out, it's going to fail. So rush it out anyway. It's so fucking infuriating. I think linear games are more engaging if you are streaming and have people watching. Open world would probably be better to play in private. Yeah, I can agree to that. I agree with that. Homeworld series was good. Even Homeworld 2, Half-Life. Oh, I remember Half-Life. Half-Life was great. I think I've got that on the Steam Deck as well.
Nice.
Wolfenstein, the Wolfenstein games. That's just funny.
Oh yeah.
They were like Inglorious Bastards on acid. They were. What would you say your favourite game series is, watching it?
Oh. I used to really like Call of Duty. I've kind of gone off it. I'd still say kind of classic Call of Duty was fun. It was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun. Yeah. So I'll go with that, I guess. Yeah.
Nice.
How about you? Resident Evil, I guess.
Well, that's my favourite franchise. I've got a favourite. I like a lot of different games. I really do. But I don't. I like medieval games. I'm not a big fan of them, to be fair. I've always liked things like Metal Gear, Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I like racing games as well, but just they became less fun the more the console generations evolved. They got less fun, in my mind.
Yeah.
Classic Gran Turismo was fantastic because it was.
Oh yeah.
It seemed so quick and so nice to play, and then as soon as it got past I think the PlayStation 2 was where it really started going downhill for me, because all the cars suddenly seemed really slow and lazy, and it was kind of boring. Racers, I don't think got better. Formula One games got worse, I think, because you're now managing the team. It's like, I don't want to manage the team. I want to drive the fucking car.
Exactly.
It's like, career mode on Colin McRae Rally. It's like, oh yeah, you got this team member's disgruntled because you've not set the gear ratio this way. It's like, no, I want to go out on the fucking car. I just want to drive the fucking car. That's why I'm here. I don't want to manage. It's like it always frustrated me with Metal Gear Solid 5. Instead of tactical espionage action, it was tactical espionage operations. It was like, I want to go out in the field and kill people and build my army, and I want someone else to fucking sort it because I'm playing this fucking game. So I'll go out in the field, I'll stealthily kill people or recruit them, or full-ton recovery them back to base. But no, you go back to base, you've got to fucking stop people fighting. You got to deal with sanitary problems. You got 3 people in the infirmary, so you got to court-martial them or whatever the fuck you got to do. It's like, no, I just want to play the fucking game. I don't want anything that reminds me of my life. The people are joking, oh, you have to pay your bills in GTA 6. Well, no, I don't want to do that. It frustrates me when, I'm a simple gamer. I like to send my character. I like to do things. This is why I got frustrated with Just Cause 4, because where Just Cause 3 you went and liberated all these areas, Just Cause 4 you go and liberate areas, but then you have to build armies to go and liberate other areas. It's like, no, I want to do all the fucking work because it's fun for me because I'm the one playing the game. It's so frustrating. UK Dangerman is having an old man moment. Mate, I am an old man. I mean, look at the fucking grey in my beard now. It's unbelievable.
There you go. Strangely well stuff.
Yeah, there you go. But no, I like a lot of games. I like platformers. Platformers are fun. Crash Bandicoot. I used to love Crash Bandicoot. Love me some Crash. The remakes feel a bit sort of heavy to play. Characters feel a bit heavy. Kind of like they got wearing lead boots, but it's. I like a lot of different games. I've got a hell of a collection upstairs. I can't even. It literally strews my stairway. But I would say that my favourite game franchises and games are behind me now. Because they're literally just. They're better than they are now. They were a lot better than they are now. Silent Hill, I love Silent Hill. Give me a Silent Hill.
Yeah.
But even Silent Hill, the creators of Silent Hill F and the new Konami Silent Hill team, they've said we're going for a yearly release, a yearly Silent Hill game. Why?
Crazy.
You're going to release a yearly Silent Hill game to the same fucking quality of Silent Hill F yearly? Why? I mean, don't get me wrong. if you can do it, do it. But as long as there's something behind it, as long as you've got some substance to that, a yearly signing, it's just going to be come the new Call of Duty, and there's a new Call of Duty every fucking year. Why?
Yeah. People just lose interest because it's like how much, you know. Because Call of Duty, I mean, look, in its time it was a classic game, but there's only so many ways you can rehash things, you know. And I think that's what's happened to a lot of IPs, be they TV series, movies, be they games, is that they keep trying to like reinvent the wheel, and it just gets really tired, you know. And they just don't know when to stop.
They don't.
And it's the case for movie studios, for you know, Paramount, and also for game studios. It's just like, come on, just leave it be now.
I
leave it.
New Call of Duty next year. What is it? I don't know what the next one's going to be. I think we've just had Black Ops 7, haven't we?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't even know anymore.
So
they all blend into one.
Yeah. So let's quickly run through the Call of Duties that have from the very beginning. Finest Hour, big red one. Call of Duty 2, and then big red one. Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty 4. Then you had Call of Duty Black Ops. Then you had Call of Duty World at War. Then you had Modern Warfare 2. Then you had Black Ops 2. And then you had Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Fucking hell. No, not Modern Warfare. Yeah, Modern Warfare 3. Then you had Black Ops 4. Ghosts. You had Call of Duty Ghosts in there somewhere. I mean, there's got to be like 25, nearly 30 fucking Call of Duty games now, isn't there? Because
I don't even know what the number is.
They just release them every year. It's like FIFA games, and they end up on the shelf in CEX, and they're like, you know, what is it? Call of Duty. I saw Call of Duty Modern Warfare in there for £5.
Wow, that's actually quite a good game. It's
not
bad.
Yeah, the Modern Warfare, the new one, £5.
Oh, right, okay, no.
Yeah, but you buy Call of Duty 4 and it's like £1. You know, the first one. Even the remaster's like £2 now.
Yeah.
And we're like FIFA games. They just release another FIFA game every year. It's like, why do you keep buying the same game? I bought Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2003, and I had it on the original Xbox, and I played the shit out of that. And I don't like golf, but golf games are quite fun. They're all right, you know.
Yeah.
Why would I buy a PGA Tour? All the PGA Tours after that. It's just a golf game, you know. It's like Formula One games. Yeah. It's the same game. It's just they give you more to do. Build your own team. Look for sponsors. No. Drive the fucking car. Focus, I think, is lacking.
Yeah, it's very scatterbrained, isn't it? And it's just like, I don't know.
You don't play a game like Hitman. To, you know, I don't know, you have to be the FBI chasing him. You don't play a game for that. You play the game to be Hitman, to be Agent 47. You know,
exactly. Yeah.
I don't. It's like if they remade Resident Evil 1. Do you hear? I know I've gone on about Resident Evil, but if they remade Resident Evil 1, and you know you met your first zombie, and then you killed him, and then you had to go to the police station and file the paperwork, and they made you fill out all the paperwork in the game. Why would you want to do that? And that's, to me, that's what they're doing with a lot of games nowadays. They're just not fun anymore. You know, I am generalising. Like I said, there's some great games out there. We're sort of coming up to closing out this first
Indeed.
10 forward. I do apologise for dragging us on a little bit too late. I know you're probably tired watching Nerd. I'm getting that way myself.
Aye.
I really like the open world nature of Cyberpunk, and Guna, but I agree, simple and far removed from reality is better for escapism. Yeah, and exactly that's my point. Escapism. We want to escape our own lives and go into a world of entertainment and mystery and stuff that we can't usually do. Why the hell would we want to file tax returns? In a game, we wouldn't want to do it. I feel that way about a lot of MMOs have been going. A ton of grindy style content that you have to repeat, especially when you get to the end of the game. Yeah. I look at Final Fantasy VII. It's unrecognisable to me. Playing the original Final Fantasy VII and then playing the remake, completely different concepts, completely different games, completely different story. Unrecognisable to me as Final Fantasy. Oh, because it's not turn-based. Yes, because it's not turn-based. That was Final Fantasy. You've changed it. It's changed what it is. Final Fantasy VII, don't get me wrong, it wasn't the one I was introduced to at Final Fantasy, but I was an 8. Final Fantasy 8 person, I was. What fundamentally changed it? I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm not. I just don't get it. I don't like. I don't like over excessive hack and slash games where you're just doing the same thing over and over again in every level. Even one of my favourite PlayStation 1 games, Die Hard Trilogy, was repetitive. You went up all the floors of Nakatomi Plaza, every floor, and you just did the same thing. Shoot the bad guy, find the bomb. It was fun at first, but after about 20 levels of doing that, you're like, well, I can't play that game again. Because it's repetitive. Craziness. Anyway, guys, get your final chats in because we are closing out very soon. Guna, apologies for my absence in the middle. Have a great weekend, all. Guna, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to everybody for joining in on this 10 forward. I know it turned into a bit of a moan fest towards the end, but hey, that's it. We're British and we're slightly older than lots of people in the world right now. So that's just the way it goes. Thank you, Matt Ross. Thank you, Guna. Thank you, Tetrock of Apathy. Thank you, Stephen Bromby. Thank you to everybody else in the chat. If you haven't liked the stream already, just hit that like button for me. That would help me out. I couldn't believe the last 10 forward we did. Got over
amazing, dude.
Got over 1,000 views. Looking at the analytics, though, it was only because of the thumbnail. Because the retention drop just drops like an anchor. But that was really nice to see. Really nice to see that the stream get elevated, if only for a short time. And one thing I didn't see until I'd hit the end live button was that Carlos Bina left a chat.
Hey.
Left a comment in the chat. He was in the background for the last 10 minutes, so it was always nice to hear from Carlos. I just want to again wish everyone a happy, safe, and successful New Year's. Yes, everybody in the oh yes, congratulations on that. Thank you, Gunnar. Yeah, everybody in the chat. I hope you have a very, very, very prosperous 2026. We should be back next week. Might be a little bit later for 10 forward. I do have a prior arrangement, a prior engagement, should I say, before the show. So I'm not sure what time I'll get on next week, but I will be back on the 9th with more 10 forward. And if you're interested in joining the show at any point, join the Discord, get in touch with me, and we'll we'll have a chat and see what we can do about that. So thank you very much, Watch Nerd. Thank you so much for joining.
No worries.
apologise for dominating the conversation quite so much.
No, I've had fun. It's all good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Glad everybody has enjoyed it. Take care, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. We will see you in the next one. Look after yourselves. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.